So
go.
what's going on, guys? As Jake said, Juke. My real name, government name is Wayne. But yeah, rapper here in Austin, Texas. Me and this guy have been working for a good few years now. We dropped the EP earlier this year called Winner. It's kind of an acclamation of a bunch of work we've been doing over the years. But yeah, originally from New Orleans, came out here for school for a little bit just to hang out and kind of stuck around with it. Always wanted to rap, and then me and this guy just got the ball rolling. I've been loving it ever since.
Oh
We're
yeah.
here now.
And where can people find this beautiful EP?
Yes, yes.
Speak
On
of.
all streaming platforms, whatever can play music. I find we're on like fucking Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, fucking Deezer. If you have that, to all my Cricket phone subscribers out there, basically anything
Damn.
you can. We
Going
made sure
deep.
we covered the bases. Anything can stream
SoundCloud.
music. Yep. SoundCloud, the popular for the lit kids.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You're into face tattoos and grimy beats. You know what we're talking
That's
about.
what we're all about. It's everything, son.
And next to him is my dog, who thinks Wayne is the greatest thing on the planet. So he might be on camera a little bit.
Like, if anything, this is a doc episode, and we're just supporting Cass.
Yeah,
We're just
absolutely.
really him to rub him and keep him entertained.
Hell yeah, man.
Oh,
Well,
shit.
while we're on the topic of your music and
Yeah.
stuff, what, if anything, do you have coming up in the future? Do you have any
Yeah.
shows coming up that you want to promote? Also, like any projects you're working on, like in the studio, all that good stuff?
Yeah. So actually, yeah. Speaking of shows, we have one going down January 5th at Dozen Street. It's gonna be like an early matinee set around like 6 o'clock, and for anybody watching it, maybe in the Austin area. So yeah, we're gonna be kicking off this free week in Austin. So it's basically
That's a Saturday.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, a bunch of venues are in free week. Basically, show love to local bands. You can go around town catching everybody, like a more mini city-based South by Southwest in a sense.
But it's
releasing
free.
music. Yeah, that's the better part too. That's the main difference between that and South by Southwest. It's free.
South by used to be, or at least a
Yeah,
lot of it was. And
yeah,
kind of fucking turned into
bro.
mainstream commercial central, like
I remember
just a
fucking
big ad for Dr. Pepper and shit like that now.
somebody used to like put up a picture of a like the '99 flyer from like 1999, and like Atmosphere was the biggest build act on it. And if to give you any reference about like what was going on at the time, especially artists and the get, that is crazy to think about, like when Jay-Z and Kanye played it in '07 at like the old Austin Power Plant,
Yeah.
and how much has changed since then. But
I
yeah, no,
remember that year. I remember
it's
because
crazy as shit.
I found out that was happening like as it was happening, and it was a little too late for me to get in, and I was like really bummed because I was like I wanted so bad to see Kanye in
Be
particular
fucking
that
crazy,
year.
yeah.
But yeah, dude, I remember going to South by Southwest when I was 16, and 16 and 17, and we would basically like scour all the shows
Yeah,
and find out as many things as we could go to that were like the all ages. You know
yeah,
what I mean? And then it was a big deal when me and my friends all turned 18, because now it was like, dude, we can go to
fucking anywhere,
every
any,
fucking
yeah,
show. And then it, of course, was a big deal again at 21, because then it became like,
yeah.
we can drink while we do this. And then not long after that, you started seeing like major changes. I mean, I'm not kidding when I used to like see 50, 60 bands in a weekend
Yeah,
and did not pay $1 for any of it. It was
yeah,
all either RSVPs or you just showed up and fucking got in line.
yeah,
And that was like the beauty of it. I mean, there's the occasional show where, it was like weird circumstances. Like I remember seeing Whitechapel. Like
mm,
it's not that it wasn't free. It was that it was already packed, sold out by the time we got there.
yeah,
But there, like the venue wall, like the fence line was like up against an alley. And I remember we looped around the side, and I saw like one kid on top of a dumpster, and he was basically side stage watching
yeah.
a perfect show.
Hell yeah,
And I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get up there with him. And
fuck
it's
yeah,
like great memories like that between like all the epic free shit
yeah,
and all the good times. Not that it's even about free, like as long as it's like cheap, it's still
yeah.
pretty
Something
awesome.
reasonable.
Now it's become like every decent show you care about, if it's not wristband badges only, it's definitely, I don't know, $20,
Yeah,
maybe 15 if you're lucky, but
yeah,
probably $20 or more to get into the show. And so if you're talking about seeing like 7, 8, 9, 10 of those, like you're spending
you're
money
blowing through it, bro.
quick,
And then mixing
what I mean?
drinks, travel if you have to do certain shit.
And every one of those shows has a line around the block.
Yeah,
And so it's like, are you even going to get in? You
yeah,
wait in line 2 hours just to find out that like it's one in, one out, and
Just
you're
hella
gonna
gamble.
catch like the last act if you're lucky, you know, and still pay the full price. It's so different now.
So yeah, luckily during free week, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah,
And
Free
so it's
Week
gonna be
is
fucking
epic. It's like, you know, maybe not all the crazy big names,
yeah,
but as far as locally, like if you're familiar with Austin's scene, it's every
yeah.
band you could care to see. Like,
Fuck.
I mean, basically, if you're in the music scene, you're booking a show. In Free
Yeah,
Week.
everybody's gonna be down there. Like a lot of my favorite bands, like a lot of alternative rock bands, I'll be seeing during that time too when I'm not playing. So like I'm excited just to get the chance to like scour. But yeah, as far as my own personal music, man, like say we had the EP release earlier this year, kind of took a break for a minute, just
Yeah.
kind of breathing, just like going doing life shit. But no, I've been in a studio, want to say since like about September, October this year, just like recording like crazy, just like
Oh
linking
yeah,
up with
man,
like a
that's
bunch of
awesome.
different new homies. Like a friend of ours, Eddie, this cat named Jabo, shout out Jabo. Actually, my brother has like a bunch of old school like Jay Dilla style beats. What up, Wayne? The other Wayne. It's gonna be a lot on that project, but yeah, it's just been kind of trying to build up the catalog from an EP and album I'm released next year. So I just want to really just kind of basically been in the dungeon, the basement, as the kids like to say, just kind of crafting everything. Got some cool ass videos we're working on. Tiz coming out with a homie of mine as well, and fucking yeah, it's been going hard, man. I'm getting growing out the hair. That's always my indicator that I'm unkept and just working on music. So if you ever see me like this, that means I'm putting in some good work right now.
Hell yeah, dude.
Got my dad stash going too. I decided to get on that train.
That's good to hear that you're back on it because I know
Yeah,
we did some serious grinding, and then after
yeah,
that, we, definitely, like you said, had to step away
yeah,
from it and just take a break. Like it it gives you a lot of perspective,
yeah,
and it really makes you appreciate like your favorite artists.
yeah, man.
Name your artist, name any hardworking person out there. Anyone that you've ever heard of is hardworking as fuck because
Yeah, it's a
even with
process, man.
yeah, even with a team of people behind you and all the money in the world, like you still have to make that art,
Yeah,
and you know that you're going to be judged by it, and so it's just cool as fuck to like know see the insane amount of hard work we put in just to
yeah,
make an EP, and then be like, dude, there's people putting out multiple fucking albums a year.
yeah.
It's crazy
And
these
just
days.
that grind. It's just that's the biggest thing, man. Because it's definitely, obviously, a financial toll and having to deal with something like that in a sense
Yeah,
of promotion, mix and master, and all that good stuff. But obviously, too, an emotion, physical in a lot of ways, depending on, especially the music we made, just topics and stuff like that. But just kind of make sure you get the right takes, putting your all into it, just trying to craft that project is a lot simple to kind of digest it in a moment, be like run through a 15-minute track or 15-minute, EP, and then think about like, holy shit, that was a good like half a year
right,
that took of just grinding, sitting
right,
down, picking the right songs, making
yeah,
them all work.
yeah. Now it's like, I mean, I feel like any job you could apply this to, once you've done the work, you look at it differently because you
Yeah,
appreciate it. Like if
yeah,
you've built houses and you walk in one, like you just think about like, oh my God, like look at all
yeah,
the work that went into making this beautiful home.
yeah,
It's the same thing with music. And almost every time I hear an album now, I'm like, damn, this is the hit, the whoever's him or her or whatever, whoever's music it is. That's the year before. That's all they did that year.
yeah,
That was their whole at least,
yeah.
maybe
At the
even more
very
than that.
least, yeah,
And it's just crazy to think that like that's like you said that they'll spend a year making an hour's worth of music,
and then you get this
and then
thing, and
yeah,
it's
and
just
it's
like
like
this,
there it is.
this small
Hope
moment.
it's awesome. I hope people appreciate it.
Yeah, man. And I think that's what a lot of people miss with art, especially in this age too, where not just so critical, but we have a lot more platforms to be vocal about criticisms, especially when it comes to like video games or movies. Like the second something comes out, we're looking at YouTube reviews or reactions, Twitter reviews or
Yeah,
reactions, and sometimes it can be savage as shit, but it gives you that understanding to be like, it's so easy to at least critique in the sense of having some contain as far as being like somebody just spent like a good duration of their life making this small little moment. And so it's
right,
like it's a little give and take. It's dope to just have that snapshot and present it to people. But then once you put into that ether, you're just like, oh shit. You get to see your baby kind of. It's that weird thing of working on and release when it's just like, oh shit, now it's out of my hands. This is a
right,
totally different thing now.
100%. Well, and a lot of times when you spend so much time with something, it's hard to have perspective.
Yeah.
So like I would say there's definitely a balance to like experiencing what you're talking about, the social side of
Yeah.
things, and like like it's probably good for art in general
Yeah.
if an artist occasionally dips into the comment section. It's like
Yeah.
you release like a 30-second preview on your Instagram or whatever, and like maybe you should dip in and see like, hey, are people digging it? Did I like completely shit the bed on this one?
Be a gauge of it
But
all.
like at the same time, spending all your time just consuming
Yeah.
comments nonstop, it's overwhelmingly bad for the most part.
Yeah.
Even if it's good comments, it's like it's warping your perspective. But if it's good comments, you're lucky as fuck because most of the time it's like more bad than
Yeah, your
good.
shit's trash, just like not constructive like that. Yeah,
Right.
constructive criticism we always welcome. Anything to be like, hey, this like slight changes, but yeah, and people are just like just fucking trash emojis going through other things.
Thumbs down.
I'm just
fuck
like
you, and you're like, whoa.
it's like fucking Joaquin Phoenix and Gladiator, just kind of like, yeah, it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
no, that was cool. But yeah, it definitely is that thing, obviously, you know, just speaking about this off-camera bit, the internet playing a part in rap, in the consumption of it, and the making of it. Obviously, it's the most popular, like, probably, I guess, genre music most definitely, but it's entertainment form, it seems, and cultural, just like impact at the moment, with everything's taken over.
Right.
And so to see that culture, obviously we're on Twitch, started out as like a gaming streaming channel, at least platform, and now it's opened up to things like this where we can, you know, talk about different stuff like music and things of the nature. So it's dope to see this little, like you said, the good and the bad of it. Like we have this platform and ability to do it, but obviously the internet is fucking a monster in a lot of ways too. That it's just like, you don't want to feed it too much because then you get, you know, shit like wide neck and long neck, which I've been recently coming to, which is the craziest shit to me.
Right. I'm guessing you saw the rap song.
Yeah. Yeah. The next up, which is
So I was familiar with both of them on like an individual level, and then just actually like day before yesterday, I saw that music video, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, it's crazy that we live in a time where like if you get any weird sort of fame,
yeah,
like
a mugshot,
right? If you have that 15 minutes of fame, like your mugshot goes viral, or whatever it is,
Yeah.
like name the random weird thing that could make someone go viral. As long as within your window of fame, you put all your money and energy into a rap career, even if it's trash, you're now considered part of the community.
Yeah.
You're now considered someone to like legitimately look at as an artist. I mean, there's so many examples, but like, what's her name? Bad Baby, the Cashmere.
Yeah, fucking Dr.
The fact
Phil.
that she was on Dr. Phil just being a little shithead kid, and now she's like,
just a fucking song with YG.
Yeah, like a legit chart-topping artist with like tons of fucking features.
Yeah,
and money behind her. Or like, you know, Cardi B is a
just kind of gone from media shit.
It's like you were a fairly well-known stripper. Now you're one of the biggest female rappers of all time. You know, props to all of them for doing that.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun like.
It's just weird that we're in that.
Yeah,
like, that's the world we live in now. Is like you could fucking.
Cause like I was gonna say somebody like Cardi, I definitely give her props because technically, even if she doesn't write her own shit, she definitely has the technical skills to do it. But like you say, like the Bad Babies and stuff like that, because that shit just terrifies me because she's 15. Right. And people are just like, she damn near looks like a grown woman, but also people are around her too and stuff. It's like, yo, she's still a fucking child, dude. Yeah. So it's always that weird thing to consume it. Like, obviously we'll get into it later, but Tekashi 6ix9ine, and like I discovered that song Mia Khalifa. Like there were some kids on YouTubers that decided, Jesus that fucking Christ. App took over this year. But it's that thing where it's just, I definitely know these motherfuckers aren't taking my position. Like I'm in a different space, but it's that weird thing to see that what inspires kids to do stuff in a type of music they make, and especially like the sound where it's kind of more uniform, everybody just knows what's popular and jump onto it, where like I feel like there's still experimentation going on, but as far as like the landscape we're talking about it, so I was like, yo, colorful dreads, auto-tune, little trap drums, we're good to go.
Exactly.
And so
well, I mean, yeah, to your point, like we live in a world now where that can happen.
Yeah,
like there's definitely studio musicians that exist. There's definitely badass musicians that like if you pay and you have the money to get them out, they'll come do it. But the difference between having a legit badass live band come sit in studio and you feed ideas to them and then they play this music and you collectively make badass music that you paid to get their help with. The difference between that and going online, spending an hour looking at producers.
Yeah.
And then in the next hour, spending $1,000 on beats and having your entire album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those beats are done.
Yep.
They're sitting there waiting. So it's like a time efficiency thing.
Yeah.
That's why like an artist can literally pop up out of nowhere if they have the finances to do it. And all it takes is, like you said, like everyone's focused on the looks.
Yeah.
So if you have the grill and the rainbow dreads and you know how to like, you know, get a certain group hyped and also piss off most of the internet at the same time,
you're golden.
That together is like a crazy, you know, viral fucking equation that comes together. And then all you need to do is make sure you got a fat beat, and there's plenty of phenomenal producers out there that'll give anything for you to buy a beat from them, because that's how they fucking pay the bills.
Yeah.
And then if you have that extra, you know, few grand chilling, and you know, even if you don't know many people, just reaching out to someone that's already got some name attached to them that's willing to do a feature because they also want to fucking pay rent.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, boom, you're dropping a project. You got a music video for it. You've got a bunch of sick beats that make you sound legit. You've got the look. Now you've got a feature from name your artist. You know what I mean? And then it's like, oh shit, so-and-so came out of the blue. And people don't even care to like look into the history of it.
It's
like
just
you said before, it's more of a quality thing.
Yeah.
Like if you listen to Cardi's album and you know that everyone else like on the label wrote and produced, and all she did was like perform that, and you know, people don't even care. They're like, whatever, it sounds good, I don't give a fuck.
I'm just taking the shit in, like she knows how to sell it, and that definitely in her instance that works. Obviously everybody roasted Drake's ass because we took him in, at least we knew he was always an entertainer, but when he wanted to be respected as a rapper, or at least take that thing, and then obviously the Quentin Miller shit came out, we're just like, okay, dude, like, what is it? Like, do we, because I never held you in that regard, but you want that type of respect. So it's like this weird back and forth to be like, I have to look at you one way or the other. Because my biggest thing is like, we just got the Earl project, and obviously a lot of people waiting for that shit. It's that underground rap album of the year, probably for a lot of people are just like, oh shit.
So sick.
Yeah, and that's definitely the space I want to occupy. That's like, you know, we've always had to talk find me being next to Takashi on somebody's webpage or anything like that. But it's that great parallel to be like, you still have room for stuff like that. And even his album, like from the cover is like a crusty crab, like the Krabby Patty thing would miss it. It's like internet influenced, but still like sounds like a lo-fi ass, like I just found this in my fucking basement album, where it's just like, oh shit. So it's just funny to see those parallels going on, and like how, like you said, how accessible and easy it is to like do something in the genre, at least be talked about or be notable, like get covered on different platforms, where it's just like, you know, everyday struggles talking about this so-and-so rapper. He's like, who the fuck is that? But it's just like they've been blowing up every fucking platform you can think of.
Like fuck, who came out of left field recently? Blueface. I see his name everywhere. I cannot open up Instagram without seeing Blueface. And it got to the point where I was like, I guess I'm gonna,
you gotta check it out.
Gotta look it up. And I'm not gonna lie, like I didn't hate every second of it, but I was very disappointed, because I like the thing that made me finally go, fuck, I gotta check this out, was like, you know, it's one thing to follow a bunch of rap blogs and see someone's name over and over again. You can like pay for that. But then once I saw like Drake and some other real big
co-sign him and shit, like E40 and shit.
Yeah, okay, that's what it was. And I was like, you know, that's a big deal in anyone's career. By any fucking means of measuring, like it doesn't get a whole lot bigger. Until you're like on a Drake level, like being co-signed by him is about, you know, as good as you're gonna get. And just, I don't know, I guess I expected something different. Like
it's definitely different.
I mean, he not only doesn't rap on beat, but then he brags in his lyrics about how he can rap off beat and it's still better than everyone else in the world. And you're just like,
it's definitely confidence, what you need. But it's this weird thing, because like I grew up, if anybody out there is familiar, like Silk the Shocker and a lot of the No Limit cats, like a lot of them had that style where they were very like Silk the Shocker. If you listen to a Silk the Shocker song, this is like early to mid 90s. The motherfucker will not catch the tempo at all. Like his style just took it there, but it is like with Blueface a thing, because that happened where it's just like, what the fuck is going on? I would see pockets where he would fall into it, dump back out, and then like, I don't know if it's the internet shit or just the spreading of it makes you check it out and want to keep checking it out. But then after a while, you're just like, oh, we're gonna respect the scripting, and start throwing up fingers and shit.
Well, like I said, there are some aspects of it that I truly love. I was joking with a buddy I work with about how he's like, he's like the opposite of 6ix9ine because he's
Yeah.
going super viral. He's associated with the Crips and
Yeah.
like the Bloods, and like he's
Treyway.
intentionally doing like meme stuff, like being offbeat
Yeah.
and like being proud of it.
Yeah.
And like, you know, to your point, there are moments where he catches for
Yeah, it's just like this weird.
and there is like precedent to that. Like you said,
Yeah.
there are older rappers that did that, but they did it like every so often, like they would like force some words in. It's kind of the feeling that you got. Whereas he's intentionally doing it on every line of every song, and just cramming it in there to like, and then every now and again catches the one. Every now and again catches the one.
And somebody, I didn't even know, they posted like a freestyle video of him like probably a year back, and I guess this was around the time he started rapping, because he's still fresh even rapping. And so it's this funny thing where he's learned. That's about this whole generation, is it's such a business move on a bigger scale that a lot of kids like look at him like, oh shit, this kid can do it, I can do it too. And it's such a in the process thing where it's just like, holy shit, the days of paid dues are somewhat really over, because as long as you get the exposure off that, you're just thrusted into the space like, okay, we need an album, we need more videos, we need features.
Yeah.
And so it's like so weird to see that shape the sound in a lot of ways, but also interesting because you think like, you know, for every one of those few you do have one pop where you're just like, oh shit, okay, this, you know, like I always thought it was Mimi, and like I never checked it out, but you put me onto it, was that Oliver Tree Cat. Like I always thought it was like the joke in YouTube, but like the shit, obviously not so much rap, but still in a realm of like internet music and things like that. But it's that thing where it's just like, I don't know much about this guy, but he definitely knows enough to craft it, even on a meme level or a musical level. I'm just like, holy shit, like it's so catchy, it gets me. So it seems like that give and take where you're just like, oh, we got to get some, you know,
he's like,
respect these Crippins.
Yeah, he's like a white non-gang affiliated Tekashi in the sense of like his ability to like everything is meme all the time.
Yeah,
like his, at least what you're seeing online. Obviously it's a character he puts on, and he's really good at that. Like, you know, you got to give him props because he understands that that's what it fucking takes. To get out there these days, you got to be weird, you got to be different, you got to. I mean, half the clicks you're getting are because people are like, "What the fuck is that?" You know? And that has to be what gets people there. If people, they've heard it all, and they don't want more of the same, and they don't want to just. First, you got to give them a reason to even make the click. And then within like the first 20-30 seconds, you got to have a reason for them to stay. You know what I mean? So that's like the true key to being an artist these days, is like reeling them in. And once you've listened to one whole track, like you're in. You know, like they've won.
I definitely like what the people are talking about, because I was actually thinking about, we have a video like kind of in post-production right now for a song I'm releasing like next year, and it's that thing where like the guy Shadowwood were like big into art house cinema, like a lot of Italian filmmakers, stuff like Suspiria and all that, and so we want to incorporate that in the visuals, but obviously when people are watching it, they probably don't have the same reference points, but the aesthetic is what we want to pull through, to be like still that fine line of like, okay, is visually catching enough that somebody at random be like, oh shit, okay, I want to check that out. But also for the people that do have the knowledge about it, so it's like, oh shit, these were these guys' influences. Because it's like, we're bringing up the Earl album, like I said earlier too, I feel like it's that, basically, like you said, playing both sides, where it's just like, if you want to go full-fledged like Tekashi, you can do that, and obviously, mainstream-wise, that's the key to get you popping, like, because the internet fuels everything now. But obviously, in that sense too, if you want to still hold ground in whatever label you want to put on, an underground or more independent or kind of lower spectrum than like your big names that you'll see on everything, you still have to find that way to incorporate yourself in that culture in your own unique style and do it. Like obviously with the Earl cover, is like I said, referencing that Krabby Patties meme, and then even like little bits in there where you're just like, oh shit, he's been gone for a minute, and obviously this is way different, like depressing ass rap, good rap, but it has that air of just like, it still pops up in the conversation when it's still going on. There's still an audience out there, it may not be as big as what's going on now, but it still pops up in that, you know, conversation of everything that came out, including the Tekashis and all that type of stuff. Which Dummy Boy, I still haven't listened to it all, but that's that Kanye feature or something.
It's okay. You know what I mean? Like, I don't always agree. I don't know if you follow Anthony Fantino at all. I don't always agree with 100% of everything he says, as you know, no one should, because it's an opinion. And, like he's just there to like put you on to new shit, and sometimes you agree and sometimes you don't. That was one that I really agreed with him on. He gave it a 4 out of 10, and he basically was saying that like you know, the singles that we're already familiar with were like the best moments of the album,
Yeah.
and that even some of those, like, he lets his features kind of outshine him in a way. Like the
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj song was
Yeah.
like the example he gave, where he's like very whatever. Like, and I think a lot of that stems from him stepping away from the initial thing that got him popular, like Gummo, like the, you know, his first like viral
Yeah.
hit or whatever, is very aggressive, and he's
Yeah.
doing that like yell borderline hardcore thing.
Yeah.
It's like
It's like
super
damn near
popular
screamo
now.
rap.
Yeah, and he really stepped away from that, and part of that was his like ego, and he was like, I can do any style I want, and he wanted to like showcase every possible style that he
Yeah.
could hit. And whatever, more power
Yeah.
to him, but I feel like it just didn't come off like as singles. It was like, damn, he did it again. But as a
Yeah.
whole album, it was very like meh, you know, like not something I find myself coming back to.
Yeah.
Like if the whole album was just gritty gummo bangers, and
Yeah.
just like had this like I want to go to Brooklyn and fight someone thing going on, dude, sign me up, because like I'm on that vibe right now. Like, dude, Zillakami,
Yeah.
So Smoola, like all those fucking dudes are so sick, and that's like the scene he comes from.
Yeah.
You know, like I've got a couple of homies up in Brooklyn. Shout out fucking Muddy. Shout out fucking
I know.
Boy. Like all those dudes are so sick, and like they're in that scene, and
Yeah.
they were actually last South by preaching the 6ix9ine thing to me, because we were all familiar with him because he had gone viral at that point, but he wasn't.
His impact there was just.
I mean, he wasn't like what he is now.
Yeah.
Like, he hadn't done that like crazy hit after hit, and like just, I mean, obviously, you know, we can talk about what he's gotten into now.
Yeah.
But like, you know, just hearing Muddy in particular tell me like, dude, like he's the next big thing. Like, I don't care if, you know, people saying he's a joke or that he's got 15 minutes of fame, all that. He's like, you don't
He was
understand.
killing it in New
Like,
York.
he's going
Yeah.
to be huge.
Yeah.
He's already massive. Everyone in New York loves him.
Yeah.
And sure enough, what he said was like completely true.
Yeah.
And he blew up bigger than maybe anyone ever has. Like,
And that
it's
crazy success
crazy.
and delivered. And that's definitely a thing like we've been alluding to this whole time, is obviously the power of the internet, and not only that, but the influence of the internet, because a lot of this shit, like I guess if we want to, I always trace it back to the drill scene stuff for like Keith and all them coming up, and how they really like, even Soulja Boy I guess will be a grandfather a lot of that shit, but it's just like how people saw them as like, you got your outside perspective looking into Chicago and what was going on.
Right.
And it was a good and bad thing, because I feel like it put eyes on stuff we should talk about, discuss, but also, you know, you want to have fun and more like records for just mindless, like just get your head out of shit. But in a sense of like that Tekashi situation, a lot of other things, it's that weird thing, because, you know, in his case, the whole big thing is trying to disassociate him from the gang activity and all that. And it's just this, like, it's a good example to teach kids. It's just like, yo, it's cool if it's understood from an entertainment aspect, but when things like this go down, it's always that kind of thing, just like shit, you know. It's like Bobby Shmurda, like just thinking of like random names. There's definitely been more concurrent within this generation, but it's that thing of just like, I always feel like, okay, I can see what this kid is doing, but it's that literary thing. It's just like, hey, the jokes kind of end at some point, because that same audience will always be like, hey, cheering you on, and then when you fuck up or do some dumb shit, they're going to turn on you like that and be like, God, what does this kid do? Because at the end of it, you're still just entertainment. Your real life situation only really depends and affects you a lot of times.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird, like, circle of fuckery in a way, because like you were saying, those are great examples of like, you know, absolute legends that established the, you know, modern environment that we're in now. And part of that is like the gang activity is very appealing.
Yeah.
Like, not only is that like rooted in hip hop since like the Biggie and Tupac days,
yeah,
and
even
stuff,
before that, yeah.
but even America itself,
yeah,
like we idolize that. I mean, like The Godfather, like Goodfellas, like all that mob stuff.
Yeah.
And then you know, it slowly morphed into what it is now, where it's all like, you know, the badasses breaking the rules and the criminals and like the very, you know, belligerent in your face ones that brag about it. Those, they all sprout up in hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, that's like the next step, because like, you know, it's one of the few routes to getting out of the hood.
Yeah,
you know,
at least
that is
something
a lot of the
accessible.
argument made, you know.
Yeah.
But then like the flip side to that is like, you don't want to stray too far because those things are what got the attention on these
Yeah.
people. Like the person that sits at home and has a 9 to 5 and will never even, run a red light or whatever, they see that and they're like, oh, there's something like really appealing to that
Yeah.
like gangster, like I don't give a fuck mentality. And like
Yeah.
you said, it's like, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
You can't have the full backing of the 9 Trey Bloods financially and visually in your music videos,
Yeah.
and your security crew is them, and then you can't go and use their badassery to then go talk shit on Chief Keef's crew, name your
Yeah.
crew. Like that's all part of it. So like once you've done that, you don't get to then just step away and be like, dude, it was all for entertainment's sake because I realized like the secret to success. It's like, well, you did those things. It's
Yeah.
like this. It's just like watching like some show that you hate ironically. It's like, well, you still did that thing. Like
Yeah.
you still have that show on the TV right now.
Are going into
Yeah.
it because it makes that big argument. Because, like I said, I'm from New Orleans, and like growing up, I think during that time, because I was like more '90s. If your base is like Cash Money and No Limit, or just the code and how people move, because obviously a lot of people would be affiliated in some way with some type of street activity or gang, but it was way more reasonable to be like know how to cover it up or at least keep it hidden and not so much in the forefront. And now obviously, so like the internet really sparked that thing, was just like, hey, I have to let everybody know what's going on. And to that bigger point, like I was saying, with Blueface and people learn how to rap, I think these kids are so thrusted into the spotlight where they really forget that's like, yeah, you're not just in your room anymore doing this with your homies. This is on a different platform. And I think it can be both. I can, because you're going to talk about your surroundings, and I don't blame that. I understand that. It's just obviously you expect the viewer to have some know-how about what goes down, which hopefully separate what's real and fake. Because everybody, the term studio gangster, where you knew some people were like tough for the sake of records. Not that they were totally pussy, but they weren't doing the shit like fucking doing cartel deals all the fucking time.
Right.
And so it's interesting to see that thing where it's just like, because Vince Staples had it on a song recently too. With Fun, that video is really good, pointed out. And fucking 21 Savage actually has a new album coming out, and obviously the fucking guy has a fucking knife gone down the middle of his forehead, and none of that is
It's a knife.
Yeah, none of that is like shit like that. Like, flipped out. It's not to sell you on his toughness. That's just what he came from. But he's saying some like his latest album, and I'm talking more about 21 in my own show right now. But it's a greater point. I'm getting to it later. But his new album is called I Am Greater Than I Was. And it's that thing of him really addressing is like, hey, like I can't be the shit y'all want me to do all the time. I know that got me in the door, but he said it's basically taking a personal toll on my life because that's not where I'm at anymore. So it's this fine line between providing like gladiator blood sport. Like we provide basic entertainment, but at one point obviously we have enough conscience now to disassociate or be like, hey, either this is too detrimental, either to the person or people involved, or like stuff happens in their life, like 6ix9ine getting arrested and his crew getting arrested. It's like, yo, dude, I hope you learn now. If you do get a second chance, like we can get some songs here and there, but hopefully you picked up on the shit that got you in the situation to begin with, Right. And so it's definitely a toss up. Hip hop is definitely in that space where it's just like a fine line between internet culture and then like real life things going on, because it's obviously easy
Absolutely.
to click and type and then have something that goes on totally not even associated with that shit. And as fucking Shotty said in court, fucking Treyway all day, son. Treyway.
Dude, to their credit, I yell that shit so much. Like
everybody,
when I'm in the car like by myself, like that's like my go-to thing when I'm just like hyped for no reason, or like
it's a new like fucking fucking
Treyway.
It's crazy.
I'm just yelling like until my voice is just like fucked. It's so funny though. Like it's just like stuck with me. You know what I mean? Like they did a great job with that.
I was about to say they found a way to market that shit. Like I can't hate on that for sure. But yeah, no. Hopefully,
but like you said, I mean, there's a point of diminishing return, because it's like there's a fine line between like I don't know, maybe Soulja Boy is a good example of someone that's like, I mean, he managed to not that he's not related with the gangsta shit. Like we all in the back of our mind are like, if you ran into him on the street, he's probably got a crew of dudes and you're not gonna want to
definitely has connections.
Shit with him. Right, exactly. But at the same time, we all know that 99.9% of his time is spent in a multi-million-dollar mansion playing video games. And so it's like, you know, you can only brag so much about being that
Yeah.
gangster when like that's the actual life that you lead is like the same of some suburban kid from
Yeah.
like the Hamptons. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I said the thing, expect the if you do live it, that's what everybody said. Like that's always the best thing. If you do live that, if you do these things, if you talk about them, expect the repercussions like what comes with
Right,
that.
because there's someone out there that has nothing to lose that's currently living in that situation, but probably amplified, probably worse, and
Yeah.
they're gonna get offended. And like, there's just too many people out
Yeah,
there.
but the XXX shit like that. That probably was a clear case of kids saying like, okay, everybody fucks when everybody likes him. We got this nigga, cool.
Right.
And it's just that sucky thing where like, whatever personal shit may be him, just that thought of just being like, yo, it's all what is it? Infamous. Everybody wants to be infamous. They just want that fucking,
Right.
you know, we killed that dude or we popped up on the internet because of this. Like that has been the main root. It seems like in all of it. It's just like what can make me the fucking biggest thing you've ever seen, no matter what it is. And obviously for 6ix9ine, that was sadly the Rico shit that he probably didn't even know about.
Right. And
But
in that case, I mean, you know, just from an outside perspective, it's been so up and down already.
yeah,
You know, where it's like there was a moment where we're all sure he's going to jail possibly for life. And then
yeah,
there's a moment where it's like, oh shit, recordings came out of, you know, Shoddy and all them saying he's never a part of
nothing.
the
Yeah,
gang and all this. And so it's like so up and down. His lawyer seems extraordinarily confident in his
yeah,
ability to get him off completely, which is really interesting. But that
I
is
know,
his,
right?
that's his job.
Yeah,
I
to
mean,
be,
it'd be weird if he was bragging the opposite. But
it's like this nigga's
but
fucked.
what makes it weird is that you're seeing a lawyer on social media brag at all.
Yeah,
Like when have we ever got that?
it's like our president starts doing that shit, and this is the state of the country and everything after
Dude,
now.
it's weird, man. It's so weird, like just the state of hip hop and like where is it gonna go from here? You know, because like you said, hopefully most people have learned their lesson, like that. You know, you don't want to be that self snitch. Like you want,
Yeah,
like that's something
Bobby
to me,
Shmurda, like
something
that
to me
shit.
that's so interesting about the Blueface thing. Like I said, where I joke about he's the opposite because of his association with the Crips and
Yeah,
stuff. It's like every video is so obviously that. And
yeah,
he's fucking calls himself Blueface, and I'm like, what? Are you just on the same ride? Are you on the same train, just ready to go until it explodes? Like,
yeah. It's like you can rep it, but you do, like you say, you definitely have to have that fine line where it's just like, okay, like nobody can incriminate you on that, but if you say shit like Bobby Shmurda, that song Hot Nigga, it's just like, and somebody caught a body about a week ago, and then like you see all the indictments and stuff on
Right.
people, and you're just like, oh, that's that dude that got a body. Like it was basically Rap Genius in legal form. And so yeah, man. But like you're saying with
Exactly.
fucking Soldier Boy, it's funny enough talking about like criminal acts in a rap world besides gangster shit is a Soldier game console.
Oh god.
Thinking about like we're
Oh my
on a
God.
gaming platform.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Holy fuck.
And it's like I don't
Talk
mind
about,
entrepreneurship.
sketchy shit.
That's beautiful, man. But when you like, if nobody on your legal team or business team's like, hey, I don't think we can get away with selling something wide, like mainstream at Pirates games that like major companies we're looking at right now.
Worse than that. Well, first off, you know that it's available on
Way cheaper.
on Alibaba
Yeah.
or whatever for like you know, almost half the price.
Yeah.
And then the thing that blew me away, because at first the big thing everyone was talking about, which I was really, you know, concerned with and
Yeah.
curious about,
Yeah.
was on his website. It was obviously the same console, but it had his logo, his like company logo
Yeah.
on the back. And so I'm thinking, you know, how did he get a deal signed? Like, how did he get away with that? And it turns out that that was just the image on the thing that you bought.
So it's totally different when shipped.
When shipped, it's identical to the one you get on Alibaba. It does not have the logo on it because he knew that he would get in trouble for that.
Yeah.
So essentially, all the company is a bot that, like, when you purchase through his website for too much money, it then goes and buys it on Alibaba
and
then
ships that shit to you.
address.
Wow.
And he's
And
just
they
keeping the extra-
scammer of the year, Soldier.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, that is like the scam
If
of,
they're
of the year.
if we're giving out awards
Like,
there in this
that's-
one, scammer of the year definitely has to go to Soldier Boy. I think he came through with a late clutch pull there.
Yeah, and I just saw him on social media like day before yesterday, bragging about how he's worth 30 mil, but he figures at this rate, like this time next year, he's gonna hit the 40 mil.
I don't think so.
And I'm just like, dude, I mean, more power to you if you do.
yeah,
But,
no,
like,
definitely
if-
not
if
safe from that.
The console scam is your idea of how to get there, then like you need to sit down and talk to someone that knows something about business, because that's
Yeah.
fucked, bro. Like, not only is it fucked because it's a scam and it's kind of cunty what you're doing to people in general, but like even if that went well, that's not getting you that money.
Yeah, that's just like, and like that really ties, I think, what we've been talking about so far, because that's, excuse me, that's like definitely what I want to do, because music is my passion, but there's other like arenas of art, like with film, writing, and stuff like that, and also business ventures, just stuff I'm interested in, I want to get involved in. Like I'm trying to work on some shit, like with doing like some like CBD shit, like fingers crossed I can get it soon.
That would be
But
badass.
yeah, but that's the thing, I want to like tap into markets that I know I like, and obviously get legality's sake, like it works out and everything's good, because I never can hate on the entrepreneurship of obviously the soldiers and the master P's, but it always feels the quality of what they put out is more of a thing of just like, hey, something's there and everybody bought it, I made money, instead of just like, hey, I actually want to give something to this that benefits. Like the man that's obviously most talked about right now, Ye, with like everything from Yeezys and stuff like that, where it's just like,
He's definitely had his downfalls, but
yeah,
to his credit, the shoes, the Yeezys in
yeah,
particular, are, I mean, it's one of the prime examples of something that worked, that
yeah,
people love. It's
yeah,
like a decent product. And
yeah, because I've never seen him or wore them, because I never knew that actual greatness of the shoe has actual fit and shit like that.
yeah, well, apparently the new ones are more narrow at the front, and some people are not down because like people with bigger feet can't like
It's
wear them
like
anymore.
stretching the fuck out.
Yeah, it's not like I don't know, because you got to keep changing that look.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's neither here nor there. The thing that came to my mind when you were saying that was all the really big name cats that got into making their own liquor.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like Jeezy did some shit with some
and
people.
every single one of there is not one of those guys that has a product that's like super viable because the quality is amazing.
Yeah.
Like every one of them, like you said, they made a name for themselves through the music, and then they like managed to basically trick a whole bunch of fucking dumb people into buying their
just
liquor.
a brand push the shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, like, I mean, good for you. Go make your money and shit. But like, whatever happened to like the pride and ownership? Like,
yeah, to be reputable about it.
In at a table with the other liquor owners that you're like competing with, and knowing that my product is better because I put the time, money, and energy into making sure that's the thing. Another good example of someone that fucked up like that, Conor McGregor. I mean, I've yet to try it, so I can't speak too much on it. But I watched quite a few review videos where these like whiskey experts are like trying his Proper 12 side by side with other things. Basically, they said exactly what you said, where it's like, hey, at its core, it has potential.
Yeah.
But for a whiskey to be really good, it has to sit around for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And Connor didn't want to do that, so
his name is just right there. Yeah.
They're like, yeah, it tastes like a young, okay at best whiskey that he's trying to put side by side with these companies that like have had time on their fucking side.
Just fucking decades, hundreds of years in the game are making the shit.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, it's weird because it's like a very lucrative market.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to put something in a bottle and get it out there.
Yeah.
And overprice the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
But it's the catch 22 is that like you do need 10 years.
Yeah.
A lot of times to make a good product. Period.
Yeah.
It's just like, it sucks. You got into that industry. Like, at least with the Yeezys.
Yeah.
Like, there might be some real motherfuckers of stepping stones and, like, hoops you got to jump through to get Adidas to sign with you and make this awesome shoe and all that shit. But once you do, it's not like the new Yeezys needed to be aged 10 years.
Yeah.
Viable.
All you need to see is you get, like, the samples. Everybody test it out. We good to go. And that's the biggest thing for me, man. It's just, like, across the board, from music to, like I said, all the endeavors I want to do is like to match, like I said, the examples we gave is in my brand. I want my name to be more synonymous with quality than just the image or iconography of it. Like, I want to see if you hear Juke record, it has this feeling, you're going to get something like return value would definitely be like, oh shit, we want to peep that. And if you saw my name on something else, it's not just to say that, oh shit, Juke makes this now. It's something that I really care about, and if anything, I'll my name really won't be in it in the sakes of just seeing it displayed. I'll probably show it off, promote it, but like I just want anything I do outside of that too, just to be like, if it's associated with me, it's a quality more so than it's like, oh my god, like he did this, now I gotta buy it, because like that shit comes back to bite you in the ass, man. Like somebody gets burned like once or twice, they're like, fuck, they won't mess with you after that. And so it's definitely that careful thing. And like you saw those people doing that, because it made me think about just think about the music sense, like you mentioned Drake, and I know he has like Virginia Black. You're still in the spotlight, buddy. You got to stop it.
No, the Virginia Black.
Yeah.
Well, you made me think of of Earl, because
Yeah.
he's someone. I mean, and I would hope he would never make the mistake of like doing what we're talking about, making
Yeah.
like a cheap something that's not, in his alley to just to make money.
Yeah.
Because there is such quality attached to his name.
Yeah.
Like when an Earl album comes out, obviously I'm gonna listen to it, but I'll pick it up just because his name's on it. Because
Yeah.
I know that he has that attention to detail and he seems to care.
Yeah, your Kendricks, stuff
Yeah,
like that
exactly.
too. Yeah.
Someone that I'm like, what are the odds that he just fell off this fucking?
I said, "Fuck it."
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Because like it's not in his personality. You're gonna get good from him.
Yeah.
And if like tomorrow a movie came out and there was some trailer and they're like directed by Kendrick Lamar, like I'd be fucking interested as hell in seeing that.
Yeah. And
and if he came out with the liquor, God forbid, because it seems like it's a bad move. Or whatever,
yeah, that's a very.
I would hope that like we
market.
wouldn't hear about it for 10 years.
Yeah,
he's the type of guy that would let it
way after he rapped. Like this was like fucking 30 years later or some shit.
He's like, in my prime time, I started this, and now when I'm a legend and I'm retired and I'm in the Hall of Fame and you guys kind of forgot about me other than like my legend status.
Yeah.
Now I'm dropping this liquor
I got some shit
because it's been aged 10 years and I'm giving you the same quality in an alcohol that you expect from my lyrics.
There you go. That's what I want it to be. And like you said too, like side note before I mention this other person, but fucking E40 has a winery, which I think is the fucking greatest thing ever. Like to say that E40 has wine is fucking dope.
That's amazing.
The person obviously that is probably the best example of everything we talked about, Tyler the Creator. Yeah. It's like a thing where just like from the clothing to the music, it's always a thing. It's just like I know this kid cares about just presenting a good product, and that makes me believe in his brand. And anything he does, I'm be like, okay, I want to check it out because I know he's gonna put effort into it and not just slap something together. And so that's really what I'm trying to emulate, man. Going into 2019, like I said, there's a lot of endeavors I'm doing, be connected to the music and beyond it, that I just want to provide people with something that's just like of good quality first and foremost, but when you associate it with me, you're just like, oh shit, we trust this kid. Anything he's doing, I know he's gonna at least put effort into making it a good thing. At least try to start the wheel on it. And so yeah, man, that's like guys like him are hope for that stuff.
Absolutely, it's a brilliant way to lead your life in general, let alone art. I mean, like we talked about before, like everything you put out is gonna be viewed by anyone that wants to do it, and so
it's
like,
a permanent record.
That judgment's coming, and exactly, it's permanent records. You're voluntarily establishing that, so why would you put out garbage?
Yeah, because we're saying the thing that got me to thinking about like this idea of like is every 4 or 5 years music changes in a sense of like popular genre or style within it. And like a person we mentioned back to was thinking about was Drake. And when it comes to that thing of just like expecting something, because when you mentioned the Blueface thing too, I saw you send something to Kodak Black like after his album came out, and like it's for lack of better comparison, I feel like Drake is Kirby. Like in Super Smash, like he just it's not a bad thing, but for the sake of survival, like he has to like suck in that thing, so it's always that fear too. When I see him give somebody praise, I'm like, oh no, he's about to fucking engulf you, motherfucker.
He's gonna bite the fuck.
He's just like on the other end, just like, yeah, I'm about to get this motherfucker.
Drake album is gonna be every line is offbeat. It on the one every now.
It's just
again.
like OVO going hard. I got to get it anyway. I got it on pocket though, and it's just gonna be like, oh shit, this is Canadian face. This is Maple face.
Maple face.
And so yeah, that's the thing, man. It's just like
so true.
The base of our conversation has definitely been that thing. It's just like you pinpoint that shit. We can see somebody, uniqueness and like feed into it and want to follow them. You're just like, holy shit, you're giving me something. You can also too be like, yeah, I know what this motherfucker either is going overboard or he's definitely just like, yeah. And like, I definitely, like I said, I give the internet that beauty of just like check. Like it's almost like fucking the branches of fucking government where you have like judicial, executive, and legislative all kind of power checking each other to be like, hey, don't overstep your bounds because like somebody's gonna have to keep an eye on this shit. Yeah. And so no matter like, even though we are in the Trump era, I feel of everything where it's just all ludicrousness, it's just like there's still hopefully is that person that's kind of like, hey, chill the fuck out. Like it's getting a little too wild west.
I mean, like, the famous saying, the internet always wins.
Yep.
You're not gonna beat the internet.
Motherfuckers.
You get its approval or fucked. Like,
yeah.
There's no in between.
And it's just like, that's the craziest thing to me too, because even thinking about memes, like that's how now, even I'd try to not do it so much, but fucking I will post a GIF as a reaction to fucking almost everything. I would just send time to be like, holy shit, I just want to find a fucking funny like 3 second clip to send you. That's just
I do that all the time. I constantly text that shit to people, and I'm like, dude, they probably think I'm an idiot.
but but that's our communication now,
but it
man.
works really well because I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not the best with words when it comes to typing out a text, but I can definitely show you how I feel in this little like 10-second thing.
You need me to confirm something, dude, for you? Like, I'm finding that goddamn Mary-Kate and Ashley from Full House, you got it, dude, to be like my like A-OK confirmation for it all.
Yep.
And it's just that, and it's so dope to like that we all basically at this point have that referential knowledge to be like, this is something that everybody gets. If you're not in the know-how, like the internet will put you in it. But it's just this awesome thing to see that shared community of just like, holy shit, I can send this random thing that me and this other person I just met would just somehow happen to know about. And it's just like, that's kind of cool. I like that feature of like kind of accessibility and like commonality.
For sure. I mean, one of my favorites to send, like when someone asks me something and like the answer is no, I hit them with the fucking Randy Jackson. That would be a no for me, dog.
It's gonna be a no, dog.
Yeah, it's just like it works, and like everyone's like, okay, like you hear it in that voice.
Yeah. And that's what I want, man. If hopefully in a good way, because you can be a fucking bad meme way easy. That's the dangers of it too. Like you can do some shit where you're just like, ugh, like this is how the internet encapsulated me. Like this is like it's that careful ground too of just
fine line,
because every time I think about, especially when I'm nervous or anxious or dealing with shit, that fucking DJ Academic's everyday struggle when he's talking to the Amigos and he's just like, exactly. It's just like, no, I don't want to be caught up like that.
The good side of it, I mean, this is talk about a weird world that we live in now. One of the quickest ways to get famous on Twitch is through Reddit's Twitch fails or live stream fails. I'm sorry, the live stream fails.
To just capture shit and share it.
So like, it's everything from like a clip from the stream of a big name guy where he like tripped and fell over his chair and everyone's laughing at him, or like he said some fucked up shit and everyone, it's like everyone needs to see this clip and they're gonna talk about it on Reddit and it's just gonna get all these upvotes and stuff. But then it's also a place where like like something like the dog could come and like shit on the floor in the middle of our conversation, and then someone sees it, clips it, puts it on live stream fails, and then all of a sudden this time next week we've got thousands of extra followers because they're like, oh well, I didn't know you existed till I saw you on live stream fails.
Yo, Doc, if you want to take a shit, brother, this is the time to do it.
And it's funny because that's like it's like the one of the biggest things right now on Twitch is for people to like go to this one place on Reddit. And it's all about, failing. Yeah. Like, there's no, like, good things happening.
That's what you want to go for, is a fucking car crash.
And it can go either way. Like you said, some people are there because they're admiring the fail to some degree. Yeah. And like, she's hot and she spilt milk on her lap and now I'm going to follow her because I didn't know about her before. Yeah. And sometimes it's like, oh, man, blah 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 said the N-word,
that's always a popular one.
So mad and whatever, and then like all of a sudden like everyone's hating and unsubbing or
and that's like, we thought about that shit too. I remember a lot in our process of doing an EP, because I know we shared a link for a lot of the videos, like Catch a Vibe on YouTube, search at App Juke, Catch a Vibe, App Juke intro video. We got a bunch of dope music videos up.
There's a video of just us two going through the green belt, like tripping on psychedelics. Yeah, it's pretty fun. We had a good time making that.
Oh yeah,
Catch a Vibe on YouTube.
But I noticed how we did it. Like that was one of the first places we put it up in like a Reddit forum, but like rap music and hip hop shit. And even like when I took Uber over here and I was in the car with the guy and he just my artist name on it is App Juke, or my name on it is App Juke, and he's had some questions about it. I was like, yeah, I'm a rapper, blah blah blah. It's like, the next question, pull up your stuff, man. I want to check it out. And like I pulled up the videos and damn near almost crashed because he was watching the video too. But it was dope to see like just like that immediacy and like those things where you can just be like, yeah, man, go check it out on here, and like the power of that thing to be like, holy shit, like it's the thought of like a J. Cole waiting outside a snowy ass building for Jay-Z to come down and pass off a demo, as opposed to riding in the car with somebody, obviously not Jay-Z, probably the Hispanic Jay-Z, I'm not too sure, but to be just like, yo, easily check out my shit and become a fan of it in that moment. And it's so tight to have that instant connection. And, hopefully not be lambasted in life like, oh, this shit is trash, son. I'm putting this in Reddit sucks forums. Just like stuff like that. But it's cool, man. And like to see that those communities and shit like that you can tap into. That like you put me on a lot of game with that shit because I think that's where our relationship works so well. It's just like kind of at least my knowledge and skill on what I do, just in lyrical and writing shit, and then your production and craft and knowing this culture and like how it exists, and like I try to keep up with it in a lot of ways, but obviously this platform is one of the most premier things where people are always watching and checking shit out. And I know there's so many like the PewDiePies and all that shit where you're just like, oh shit, you know,
It's as big as it gets.
I know, right? And so it's really tight to kind of
subscribe to PewDiePie.
it's like we're giving everybody love, son. If you don't spread the news about this, you're a fucking hater.
Have you seen that whole meme though with him, the competition with him?
The Indian channel, right? The Bollywood people shit. Yeah, I saw that.
Dude, for a while, I initially didn't know it was happening, and it's crazy the reach of his fame. Because I was playing Call of Duty,
Yeah.
and the Call of Duty chat was being spammed with "subscribe to PewDiePie,"
Bro.
and I was like, dude, does he have some weird bot out there? Like, what is happening right now?
These are real
and
motherfuckers.
I asked my friend, 'cause I saw it other places too
Yeah.
after that, and then I asked my buddy on Discord, and he's just like, "Oh, you haven't seen eating for the #1 spot."
Yeah.
So it's everywhere, and I was like, okay, now it makes sense. But it's nuts that I was just like, why is a guy in COD telling me to fucking subscribe to PewDiePie right now? What is happening?
And you know, it's the funniest thing too, but that's the biggest battle on YouTube is between a Bollywood movie trailer YouTube site and a game streamer, where it's just like, holy shit, like that's like two different forms of things, but just based off popularity, that's what's putting the head to head. And you're just like, it's definitely interesting sectors too, and like it's like one of the most entertaining, like fun nature battles I've seen on the internet. If anything to like have a laugh at, because I heard the bitch lasagna song and stuff like that, where I'm just like, okay, it's all in good sport and obviously nothing malicious, which is fucking dope too. But it gives me that celebrity deathmatch feel where I'm just like, if they said to bring that shit back, and if anything,
I
and
think we've
obviously
talked about that before.
Yeah.
Like, that would be like one of the greatest.
it has to be with the internet shit that's going on right now,
so much
dude.
available.
Because you have like every single thing going on there. Is our winter waterfall?
Yeah, I'm gonna go restart. But
We're getting to some things.
I want,
Yeah.
writing that
Yeah.
Travis Scott
Yeah.
action.
Yeah. Like, definitely, yeah. Because especially that album with Astroworld, there's so many like Houston. Big Hawk is what I was about to say in the midst of that, but like Houston influence and a lot of that screw scene too, where it's just like it's given to like what race and the culture he comes from, but obviously mixing, you know, pop sensibilities of what's going on today to have like Sicko Mode, obviously probably one of the biggest fucking songs of this year, and like the shit it started with Kanye and all that stuff too. But you know, I remember even back with Birds in the Trap saying Brian McKnight, I remember his explanation for that was just like, he wanted to kind of contrast to like, he admitted, it's like, you know, I was a regular ass kid in my room just wanting to rap. Like, we didn't have the best life, but obviously it wasn't the worst life. And so it's that thing of just, I want to connect and still speak to these people I know about, but obviously give my influence and style from things I do. Because he's really a great example to you, like you brought up, of somebody to have that, like, you'll see it bumped in Houston and probably cats, you know, fucking swinging, just moving around, bumping some Travis. But obviously he can be played at a winter farm or like kids just, you know, walking around at random or in COD, but probably bumping some stuff too. But he feels relatable enough. He doesn't feel too away from you where you're like, oh shit. But then he'll fucking, that fucking meme going back to that of raising like the mic stand above his head and going fucking bananas at a performance.
Not just the commercial aspect of the sound, because obviously he nailed that to perfection, and that's why he's so big. Because you can play it from everything from like a you know, middle school formal, all the way up to like some legit gangsters in Houston bumping it. But his ability to have that hardcore gangster appeal, like no one's out there thinking like Travis is some pussy or like, you know what I mean? But like we talked about before, these days it's really hard to get any sort of recognition without having that that link in some way.
Like I'd fight Tekashi 69. I don't know if I'd fight Travis Scott. That's a whole different thing. Not even trying to test people, but it's just like Tekashi, I feel like we can have a fair one. Travis is on some different shit. He's like fucking when you see goddamn zoo trainers hold apes and you're just like, this fucking monkey's probably gonna rip this person's face off. That's my thing with Travis. I feel like he would flip on a dime.
Dude, every time I see a chimp now in any situation, I'm like, dude, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Get that thing away from me. It wants to eat my dick.
I was like,
do not. There's like some like normal ass zookeeper ladies just like walking it out, holding hands. It's in a diaper.
and it's just like, bitch, he's gonna fucking give you a transplant in a few seconds.
It's like a superhero.
Yeah.
You're just acting like it's like your pet. And
Yeah.
It's a superhero.
And that's definitely the thing. It's just like, even with rappers and stuff like that, like those people, it's just like, yo, you don't want to poke them. Like when you see that Kodak Black interview with like Ebro, like not even to the terms of it, because I do agree with what Ebro was coming from, but
the whole thing was a bit frustrating.
Yeah,
but like to Kodak's point, like
it's just loading it up.
He should not have gone there with them, and he knows exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, because it should be the space. I think the issue itself is important, but definitely like the kind of back of the head, like slam it in. So it's like, okay, let's like, the kid is up here for a different reason. But it's that thing when you saw fucking Rosenberg try to be like, let's talk about the moonland, which was a horrible transition. And then fucking Kodak's like, are we really fucking talking about this? Like, yeah, it's just like that thing. I'm just like, yeah, I see it in that motherfucker's eyes. Y'all need to stop. Like, I know him and Ebro probably like, but it's that type of thing. Like, if you saw that in real life, that's a person you're just like, yeah, I ain't gonna fuck with you.
Well, and also like Ebro, as someone that brags to be about being an old head and to being like an elder that you need to respect, and that he's gonna put people in their, set them in the right path and all that shit. For him to pull the card of like, he ain't gonna tell me what I'm gonna talk about on my show. It's like, dude,
that became a butting of egos. Yeah, it was too. Yeah,
child. Also, but what we were talking about before, Kodak is another brilliant example. Kind of like with Travis, but even more so for like the gang thing,
that Haitian shit, yeah, in Florida.
Yeah, because Kodak's ability to like ride that line, like no one doubts.
Yeah.
How connected he is.
Yeah.
And like you said, how he's someone you would never want to fuck with.
Yeah.
Because like we've all seen those crazy moments where like, wait, is he gonna go kill someone right now? Like, it's kind of scary when he loses it, Yeah. But at the same time, he's not. I mean, yeah, he has that outstanding court case, but that's like a sexual misconduct thing or whatever. It's not like any gang related activity. He's not up on some fucking RICO charges right now. What I mean? Like, it's just interesting that like that seems to be a necessary evil to have the attention brought to you.
Yeah.
But then it can go too far, and all of a sudden you're Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
And you're looking at fucking life in prison over.
Yeah, like what certain type of reformation, can happen to her. Because definitely it's a thing, like that's a good example, because Kodak is a type of cat, like, legal proceedings aside, outside life aside, just speaking on music. Like, I really like his new album too, and it's he's a type of person that definitely he wants to grow. I can't blame the kid because he wants to change. And like we were talking earlier, it's that fine line between kids get this outlet and they're still fucking young. They're still obviously learning their way through life, but on a grand world scale. So it's not like I have to applaud Kodak of all people too, at least for trying to change or willing to change and stuff like that. And it's that thing of like, I can see the growth, I can see it happen and stuff like that. And I got, hopefully somebody should be a big brother in the Ebro sense, not to put too much pressure, like, hey, let's talk about the shit that probably got you in a situation, but also too, I can see the strides you're trying to make to better yourself, you know? Right. And like, that's why I fuck with him, because he doesn't do shit for the shits and giggles. It's like, what gets him on is like, oh, I want to check out the music. He does, I should put that better. He does shit in seriousness that becomes viral, like the shower shit and all that. Yeah. But obviously Tekashi is more thinking like, okay, we gonna do some shit that's gonna get me, these views or all this type of shit.
Yeah, well, Tekashi he's the kid that gets on the elevator and pushes every single
that's a
because like he knows that pushing buttons is gonna
literally do
attention, you know what I mean?
And I can so see him just gonna turn around smiling with the fucking sharp razor grin, just like, you an asshole. Right. Just like, you're making me late for my goddamn work meeting.
Exactly. Whereas like Tekashi's almost like Riff Raff's things got taken way out of control in a new generation and taking everything.
That was
just like
even Raff was crazy.
Like, 1,000 times crazier than what Riff Raff was doing, and that's what you got with Tekashi. Whereas like Kodak is almost like the version of Gucci, like a
that's a good comparison, like, because he really is.
It's like you 100% believe that he's associated with some gnarly gang shit, and he's got some scary fucking connections, and you'd never want to fuck with them. But the music's always insanely good quality. Yeah, and he's managed to like properly distance himself from anything that's actually getting him in trouble without anyone questioning his
What he's doing,
legitimacy.
yeah, because his freedom is most important overall. Because it's that weird thing, like whenever you hear people talk about a fucking like a Lil Wayne record may come out, like yeah, even in the sense of the Carter Five, like the hype behind that, but Carter Five or fucking M will like fucking Kamikaze would inspire that. Obviously, everybody going off on revival. It's that thing too, and everybody would be like especially with those two artists, what's going on? Ben Tilly 169,
Oh shit.
sub dude. But it's like when people talk about that and they grade those works, especially after the prime era, it's just like, damn, I wish they were still fucked up. I wish they were still doing drugs. It's like that's when they made this album and that. And it's that thing, it's just like, yo, what do you know? And obviously what all those artists do, usually during those most turbulent times is when they make their best work. And it's that weird, how do you create that disassociation or that hope for like hopefully you can still make some dope shit without having, probably stab somebody or do some shit.
And yeah, welcome back, Ben. By the way, I'm pretty sure Ben's here a couple times.
Hell yeah! Thanks for the support, Ben.
Yeah, straight up. But there's been like a history of that before it was even gang stuff. Like if you look at rock and roll.
Oh yeah, the '80s,
all
something
the
like
best rock bands, like all the legendary ones, like all their hits were made like super fucked up.
Yeah.
And then there's like that fine line of like, well, I can only take heavy amounts of drugs so long. I can only be drunk so long before it's like affecting me physically. Like and it's weird because like as a culture, we seem to praise the ones that like literally killed themselves doing it.
Yes, RIPs the second they die and all this respect shown and shit.
Like, oh, you drank yourself to death? You're a fucking legend.
Yeah,
you made the best shit possible every moment of your life and you didn't fucking stop and you didn't think maybe I should get healthy and live a good life like the rest of us, because that's like the rock star mentality. And it's weird how like I'm just as bad because I admire those same people and those same like the 27 Club, all those dudes are fucking legends,
But it's brokenness, man. I think that's the biggest thing, because you connect with people when they're at their most downtrodden, because it's like a sincerity, like it's never. And especially in the lore, because obviously, sadly, Mac Miller we lost this year. And you think about people like that, where it's just like, I never obviously wanted him to continue drugs or anything like that. I just wanted him to be pure and honest through his work. And that's all I wanted. And it's that fucked up thing was just like a lot of those times that honesty was about, drug usage and hopefully his fights to overcome it and things like that. But even thinking about like fucking, it's that crazy thing. Like, I want there to be the rap equivalent of a fucking Keith Richards and a goddamn, like you're like, you're gonna go through those moments, but if we can have you around with like 60, 70 still going, that's what I really fucking want, dude. It's just like we all go through phases that in some degree or severity, but it's just like you hope we're not having like every year like good 5 to 10 rappers we're adding to the list.
This year's been rough, man. We lost quite a few this year, unfortunately. The rap dudes are dropping left and right from
it's just
the drugs and the violence.
From the little guys that you may hear on like fucking World Star that are like hood cats like really blowing up to obviously, like I said, the Mac Millers and the XXX Tentacion's. We're just like and it's definitely a good wake-up call to be like, we can still celebrate this shit, have fun, but obviously, like we've been talking about this whole time, the control variable. Like, how do you keep it all in a line, or at least keep yourself healthy enough to be like, hey, I'm not going to give my fucking soul to this, because there's no coming back from that shit, man.
Exactly. Well, a weird, unique, extremely amazing individual that's kind of the flip to that is someone like Kanye.
Yeah.
Where, like, I mean, I'm sure he parties and does his stuff here and there, but like his whole thing lately has been like, I'm kind of a crazy person, and when I'm on my drugs, I'm not as crazy. Like his prescribed drugs, I'm not as crazy. And he's like, and I don't make music that. And it's kind of the same point that we're making. Like when you're not in that like out of body, fucked up psychedelic mind state, the art's not. So there's a fine line where he's like, I'm literally gonna risk my relationships, my livelihood by coming off my meds, knowing that I'm gonna make a better album because of it, and then hopefully get back on them once this album's done. It's
like you don't have that muse, I guess, in a sense, like that thing to really just like, and like he's obviously been the poster boy of 2018, but like it's definitely been interesting, especially with Ye, because there's somebody too. If you're familiar, and probably obviously not my music, you can look it up, app Juke. But a lot of the content of my stuff deals with stuff I deal with, like mental illness and drug use and addiction.
That's true.
And like Kanye was one of the first people, like like from College Dropout, I've always been a fan of, but also to relatability. When I was just like, hey, here's a kid from Chicago, I'm from New Orleans. We both deal with like kind of violent cities, but obviously we're more middle class and artsy dudes. Like we're not like we're around this shit, but we're not in that lifestyle. We just see these things going on. And like when he would mention stuff in interviews like Lexapro, which was like an antidepressant I was on for a minute, like he mentioned it in a rap, and I was just like, oh shit, this explains a lot. And it was that crazy thing to be like, dealing with the stuff on my scale is still a challenge, but now try to think, like I'm thinking about that output and that lifestyle when you have that, especially if somebody doesn't understand it or really know how to work with you while you're going through that, to be like, hey, this is a manic episode, we need to chill out, or like, you know, watch you in those moments, you're just like, oh shit, are you Lando Calrissian? I think the mustache is really pulling it off. I feel like I should beat out Donald if they do a Han Solo too, but or Billy D. That's I mean, put me on a Billy D wave.
Shout out Donald Glover, he killed it. But
this year too,
if I had to vote someone in to maybe step in and do a slightly better job,
I'm Lando. I already got it down, bro. But yeah, but it was, yeah, and even his album, I'm glad you said that, Ben, This Is America. Like from the features on it, like you can hear a 21 Savage in the background, Young Thug, Pump doing ad-libs, and then the video, the commentary in the video, and how it's just like, it's a great collection of basically everything we've talked about, like how this is what we feed off of. This is our culture. There's no way to deny that, but it's just also showing the ramifications when we fucking just overabundance, which America loves to do. Yeah. And like goes to that, you know, threshold of that pushing point. We're just like, okay, what happens when we hit that end marker? What is the big bang of the grand finale?
Right. Like at some point, if you glorify Xanax enough, kids die from it.
Yeah.
Regardless of the fentanyl being mixed in, but that is obviously a huge problem. And what's something that's amazing to me is like you said, the almost the praising of the RIP, because you're a legend now, and all that stuff. But like the lack of talking about the problem at hand. Like, you know, Peep dies, and you get 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks of people preaching about how bad fentanyl is and how people need to get off the lean and get off the Xanax.
And just right back
and
to
it was a big deal for 2 weeks. And then we're right back to it. And no one's thinking twice about it. And it's like, hey, this is a legit epidemic.
Yeah, man. And even Uzi, he put out that tweet like right after that, was saying, like mentioning he wants to go sober, and then also had that commentary within it. And it's interesting to see the artists basically be like, it's like obviously from what they put out and how it grows or flourishes in the world after that, as opposed to their lifestyle and what they're doing. Because Uzi was like, hey, like this, y'all were just like getting on me saying this shit can kill me, and now since this happened, you know, it's like that reversal about when it's concern or just I want the carelessness, you know, that bounce back and forth. And so it's definitely a thing you can't, you know, art is that weird thing where like everybody's gonna have different interpretations. Going back to This Is America, and it's hard to, you know, like without being preachy. The J. Cole project, I think, did a good job of that. But I presented without being overly just like, hey, these are the experiences I've gone through it, homie's gone through it. This is my take on it. You know, you don't expect Uzi to come out and like, yeah, stop taking his Zans, yeah. Because like he's gonna probably gone through something where at that moment he feels that that's the only thing that can help him do it, dude.
Are you like the Drake line where he says fucking he takes the prescribed amount.
Yeah, half a Xan. Somebody pointed that shit out and it cracked me up. I was just like, that is definitely the Drakiest thing you can do.
I appreciate that.
I was like, that okay, I would hot as fuck. That was our partnership. That's how we started. But it's just like, yeah, that's definitely that thing where you're just like, okay, that's just it's a Drake thing. It's funny to laugh at it, but you're just like, yeah, Drake is like your dad too. It's like, hey, if you do take a Xan, just take half, son. That's all you need. You don't need to go wild. And it's like, you know, I gotta at least appreciate Drizzy for that. So that's
funny though, because I saw back to, we talked about Fantano before.
Yeah,
and he talked on his video about that's like one of the dorkiest rap lines of 2018, maybe ever.
Yeah,
with someone like saying, I take the prescribed my prescription drugs or whatever.
It's like, we're not going sicko mode. We're going, you know, normal moderate mode. And we're just gonna be respectful mode.
But I mean, that's back to the point that we were just talking about, where it's like if you say things like that, it's viewed as like dorky.
Yeah,
but if you're bragging about taking 3 bars and being fucking all faded and shit, then like
motherfuckers are rolling with that.
yeah,
And
I don't know.
and like
It's weird.
we're saying too, like I said with the mental illness shit, is that definitely that thing where like in my music and a lot of stuff I do, I want to present the side or the mindset I'm in of obviously when I'm downtrodden and I'm, heavy drug usage. But in the sake of like I can only counterbalance that with songs that are not, like I said, preachy, but just presented saying, hey, give that reasoning. Because I like, and it takes an artist to do it. I don't expect that from every artist. Like I have enough know-how to like separate it and understand. It doesn't influence me to the point like, oh shit, he's shooting up heroin, I'm about to go do this shit now too.
Right.
Like I have enough understanding to know like, okay, this is the experience he had, he's talking about it. And it's that weird thing where I hope kids develop them more, like we're saying through the Takashi says, to be like, hey, you can still dance to it and enjoy it, but also understand like the grand or scheme of it, or don't get yourself too fucked up in the game where it's just like, hey, have your own control to be like, this is a great, cautionary tale. And it doesn't have to be a lifestyle choice, because I think a lot of people like Future, like I know the biggest thing with him, I think he had to defend himself in court by saying like, I'm not an avid drug user, even though my songs are about lean. Right. Even there's a line that goes lean. And so it's, and it's the craziest thing, man. It's definitely that thing of just like, you hope everybody is in control enough of their own shit, to really keep everything going without knowing that jumping off point.
I mean,
And
you hope that, but you also know that it's inevitable that there's going to be influence and there's going to be a casualties. Just like I mean, just how many people in our hip hop scene alone, and I'm not hating, but I'm actually a fan and think they look cool. But like, how many kids do we know that have either a drug problem or maybe even not even drugs? Let's talk like a face tattoo.
Yeah, just a look of it like that, like
just trying to have the look going on, and like they look cool as fuck now. And when you get on stage and they're rapping and doing a feature for you or whatever, like good for them. But we also know that statistically, most of those kids aren't gonna be rappers.
Yeah, it's not gonna last that long.
Meaningful way.
Yeah,
and even if you have like a decent career that paid the bills for a while, and you did some touring, which most people won't get to experience that. Even if that is the case, like you said, it won't last. Like, you're gonna have to find something else to do.
You got a 5-year plan, man. You gotta definitely set up that thing. It's like, if you do, and I understand it, because at least in a sense now that like rap for the most part in the mainstream is a portal into celebrity and getting that, because obviously a lot of them flip into reality shows or do other shit where it's just like, you at this sense, Paris Hilton has colorful dreads and a fucking goddamn Anne Frank on the side of her face. So it's that I know there's a different socialite for this age, and so it's that weird thing to put it in that frame where it's just like, holy shit, rap is now a space where we basically, fucking Bad Girls Club. It's all these kind of like different guys that look like goddamn like crazy acid trips walking around spitting rhymes and shit. And so it really is, it's like we've been talking about all the time. It's that thing of just that balance of trying to be like, okay, this is cool, I can respect the youngins, what they're doing, but also like, hopefully there's somebody there to like tap them on the butt. Like, okay, dude, like there's a fine line, like putting Anne Frank on your face. There's some things where I'm just like, I know you don't give a fuck, but there's a lot of things you're fucking yourself out of too. There's just a lot of shit that won't be on this other side. You better have a damn good ass plan to have Anne Frank on your face.
Fuck, dude, you better be the next big one.
It's like, god damn.
Well, back to our point we were talking before about like riding that line of gang activity and not getting in trouble. Something we said before the podcast even started that we were going to wait for the podcast to talk about was the recent music video that Max O'Cream put out that got 20 of his close friends locked up.
Yeah.
And that's like back to what we were saying before about like the self-snitching, and also like, I mean, no one thought it'd be a good idea to have done, like, those were loaded weapons.
Yeah.
It always blows me away when I see those videos and find that out, and I'm like, who has the balls to
I was about to say, bro, it's just
man?
like, it can be prop. It can be, first, register the firearm if you live in a state that allows you to carry a registered firearm. Second, pull the fucking clip or ammunition out, because you don't need it for that sake. It can just be the, I know you have a gun, my dude. That's all I need to know. I'm pretty sure I have ammunition after that. But it's just like, I've always seen them shits like, there's a few videos out there where somebody had to get shot in the fucking head by mistake because somebody was waving the shit around and then like mine
Fingers
slipped
on the trigger
and it's just like, like you, like, trust me, you don't have to be that threatening for everybody outside your world and character and shit.
For anyone watching that doesn't know what we're talking about, Max O'Cream's a big name rapper out of Houston.
H-Town.
He's sick as fuck.
Yeah, I fuck with Maxo too.
He's big time, honestly.
Another Crip as well.
Yeah, and he filmed a video a few months back, and they were filming, for whatever reason, very close to an elementary school, of all places. And the elementary school got out, let the kids out. Some of the kids saw the video was being shot. They ran over. Actually, some of the kids got into the video.
See, I didn't know the details. I never looked at the video either, so I just know he got locked up.
So kids got in the video shoot because Maxo's cool.
Yeah, he's like a Houston legend for them.
But of course, that set off alarms for parents that saw what was happening. So multiple people called the cops. The cops showed up on scene. Pretty much everyone ran, not Maxo and the manager and the close people. They stayed because they didn't have anything to hide, but a lot of the dudes basically like emptied got the drugs out of their pockets, got out of there for the so they found like guns and drugs just laying on the ground all over the area. And the cops were like, well, these are illegal, this was a stolen gun, this was a gun that we were looking for in like a blah 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 case, all this different shit, and they didn't have people to put to the crime because they didn't catch the people at the moment. And then like last week he dropped the video, and the cops literally watched the video, found out who 20 of those dudes were, and then 20 people are in jail now from one music video because they used real guns that were loaded
and then had their fucking faces in it. And it's like, and we're not fucking obviously promoting you to commit crimes or how to be better criminals, but it's just this thing of, it's definitely an awareness thing of just like, this is the ramifications of like I said that term earlier, studio gangsters. Like there was dudes like MC Hammer was a big one back in the day. This is the opposite actually. Like a lot of people thought just because of Hammer's persona and all the things he did was like, oh, this dude is cool, he's a party guy. But then they realized how connected this motherfucker was. And like, cause he just didn't display it. He had his dudes with him, but it wasn't in his music or his videos. But it's like, if you checked Hammer though, his ass would fucking put you back in check quick. And so it's that thing of just like, Wayne said it best, real G's move in silence like lasagna. Sometimes you just gotta, and fucking, who sang the gamble? You gotta know when to hold him and know when to fold him. It's like, it's Kenny Rogers. It's also that thing too. It's just that bit of just like, I don't know what's going on in your lifestyle. Like, I never try to get in that shit, but at least, man, you can only hope that just kind of keep it under wraps in the sake of, who may find out about it, because it's definitely, like I said, you hope for reformation. You hope it happens naturally. That cats just learn their ways or cross over enough in music to where it's like, hey, I don't have to be as involved in this shit, or at least open the door for my homies to do it. But in cases like this, at the same time, like we said, are cautionary tales to be like, yo, this is the flip side of that shit. This is, really, fucking roaches come to life. What happens on that other side of shit? And so, hopefully everything happens well with the dudes. If shit went down like it did with a crime or associated gun, you got to do that shit. But it's man, it's just learning. Hope people learn from shit like this, involved in it, not involved in it. There's entertainment and there's life. That's that little gamble.
I mean, like we said before with Takashi, it's a weird world we live in where like there's something extremely appealing about the visual of him on a street corner in Brooklyn with 100
nothing but
dudes
red behind him,
all in red. There's something about that where like you're getting your millions of views just because of that. I mean, as long as the music's even halfway decent.
And those cats want to chase that too, and it's just like they see it's like, oh shit, son, like we just like got fucking goddamn whatever million views on the Sakashi shit. And it's like, into them they'll be like, you'll hear always those things to dudes doing robberies and going on Instagram or Facebook Live and showing the shit they just stole. And I'm like, dude, this is not a photo booth for criminals. You don't go in and just like you chilling next with your gun, like fucking a bunch of snapshots.
Well, what's his name's a classic on the whole.
What's that?
Boot gang.
Oh, that guy, yeah. And I'm glad he's getting shit together. He's a good example too of somebody's like, sadly, it could have been done before the face tattoos, but like he's learning hopefully to how to corral his life in a good space.
He goes by his real name now.
Yeah.
He's got a rap career and shit, which is kind of funny because I listened to it the other day and it was like, decent. If I'm being nice. But it's kind of like
he learns and picks it up and shit.
Where it's like, if you have a really sick producer and the video quality is really nice, like that shit goes a long way.
Yeah.
If you look the part, that shit goes a long way.
He can still get them clicks off that.
Takashi's a complete troll, so you never know like, how much he said is true. But in an interview, I heard Takashi say that he looked the part, which I'm pretty sure this is true, that he looked the part way before he started rapping.
Yeah.
And so many people asked him like on a daily basis, oh, are you a rapper? Then he finally was like, fuck it, I should try and
just jumped into it.
Yeah.
And like fucking that was somebody I was just thinking about too. Oh fucking Jeezy. He was on an episode of Everyday Struggle, and it was around something that happened. Something that happened to somebody. I forgot what it was. But he brought up a point too. I just thought about talking about that I'd rather like these young cats be doing this as opposed to being out on my block right now plotting to stick me up or like rob my shit. Like it's that like we are saying like give them an alternative to do that because like obviously Everyday Struggle is a platform to critiquing and stuff like that. He was talking about through that lens of like you can't be so hard on these kids. But I'm just like it's a 50-50, man. It's music, so they have to be critiqued. They have to, you know, a lot of cats don't want that because they think like, what the fuck you talking about? My motherfuckers feed my family, but it's just like, yo, you want to keep doing that shit, you got to do it a little better too. Like you can't just jump into it and like pressure everybody into liking your shit or press them, you know. And so like I'm glad like you brought up Bun Game because he was obviously a person that fucking going into convenience stores or JC Penney's and fucking crashing into displays, even if the like runoff shit was staged. He talked to the person. That shit
he
doing that.
says that it all was, but we all know deep down that at least a handful of them were probably
like somebody has to clean that shit up. Like that's what I don't think he is too. And so it's that crazy thing of just like really doing anything for clicks, and then his own troubles explaining like why he did drugs and stuff like that too. And you know, it's you hope that we get better cases of people that actually make, I think, more impactful music and can deliver that same message too, where it's just like a Kodak, where it's just like your shit connects as good music and you're also at least given a platform to address your wrongs or at least try to make your rights, you know, and stuff like that. And so it's 2018 has been a year of that shit, man.
Yeah, I mean, also the fact that just in general everything evolves and culture expands upon itself, like even in the most simple of ways, like a new Ford F-150 comes out, like the only way that they're selling you on the 2019 over the 2018 is if it's got more horsepower, it's got nicer tech, it's got a cooler front end, all that stuff. The same thing applies to rap. Like once someone has done the run in, steal a pair of Reeboks and run out with them, like the next guy's only getting those same holy shit clicks when he does something crazy.
Yeah, has to match that level.
Expands upon it, and now there's entire kids, like entire groups of kids. I mean, that are like their whole career is based on that.
Just doing that shit.
I honestly I can't remember their names, and even if I could, I wouldn't want to say it because I don't want to promote their shit because it was kind of awful. But there's these two kids that like kind of blew up a little bit on Instagram, and that's all they do is like they go into like Walmart. And they're like, oops, I tripped, and they like knock over the whole display of like bouncy balls and watch it go everywhere.
Yeah.
And then like the lady that works at Walmart's like, fuck. Like,
it's just like becoming a professional asshole.
Yeah,
like that's the whole job title.
Like, one of their really viral videos is like they went into a Walmart or a CVS, something like that, and they just like grab bottles of Listerine off the shelf and they like pop them open and then they like chug the whole thing on camera. And it's like, I don't know, something about it you like want to watch because you're like, holy fuck, these kids are stupid.
It's a car crash, man. Yeah, it's a fucking, it's just a fiery wreckage where you're just like,
damn.
That,
like once you get the views, like you said, then you turn around and you apply it to, you're like, I've been sitting on this music video and this badass trap beat and all this shit, and then all of a sudden you're a rapper.
Yeah.
And it's like funny that that's become at least a route.
Yeah.
Because you gotta, like we said before, if you're not repping some big gang thing that gives you that street cred, then you have to get the street cred somehow.
Yeah,
even
definitely
if it
doing that space.
Chugging a bottle of Listerine that you stole off the shelf.
That's gonna definitely fuck up everything inside of your goddamn guts. But yeah. No.
Well, and the thing is, like they do the like steal it off the shelf thing because like that's like how to authenticate the fact that
it's real. Yeah, everything. Real. Yeah.
But then in my mind, I'm like, you could still easily fake that.
I know, right? Just put a bottle that you had,
as
fucking
long as
get
it
some
has
plastic
the plastic,
wrap. Yeah.
And you're taking plastic off, like it's all fakeable. But honestly, looking at the kids, you're like, I'm pretty sure it's real, just because they seem too dumb to like even try that hard.
Saying to move not closely is almost as far away from me, from a girl, really far to be honest. Jesus Christ. I do that business. Like, you need Jake to move it? I'm guessing gray shirt. I got a black shirt on. I even. Fuck.
Yeah. I guess I need a different mic stand. This is as close as I can get it.
Just like this is ASMR.
Yeah, the problem is like I turn to talk to Wayne and it's like facing this way.
Yeah, it's all directions, man. We're trying. Bump up the volume. Turn the volume up, man. Bump it all the way up.
I can try and tweak my mic volume.
But like you said, to like all the people we talked about and gave a lot, I guess, you said thanks, Bittersweet. it's like a lot of tension and shit too. But like I forget keep how to pronounce homie's name, but he showed me and he got like the praise from like Erica Badu and Dave Chappelle, the cat from using like Tobe, like he had all his video.
Like no Winway.
Yeah.
Winway,
And like you had him, yeah, cats like JPEG Mafia. If I did sound like ear rape. That's where about, man. Ear rape 2019.
It's fucking Treyway.
Treyway. But fucking yeah, him like JPEG Mafia, like you have like all those cats see that popped up in the scene, and fucking Hobo Johnson, and like definitely for that year or two, we had a lot of interesting acts,
sick.
and like a lot of acts. I'm just like, holy shit, for that, not necessarily bad, but definitely for that virus of a lot of shit that came in, we had a lot of people like, oh shit, I can't wait to see what they do in the future, and like that longevity and legs that they have, because obviously someone like a JPEG is in house, he'll be good, like to produce his own shit and make his own shit.
Love JPEG.
It's like the Kenny Beats shit, like the song you put out with Kenny Beats, Puff Daddy, is really fucking dope.
Dude, and like everything I've heard from him, from like the first song I heard from JPEG, I was like, that is someone who gets it.
Yeah,
that is someone that is killing the game right now. Like,
and stays to his values too. That's what I love.
Just ahead
like,
of the curve.
Yeah, it's just like he fucking shits on the alt-right, and not even shits on SoundCloud rappers. He gives credit to some people. It's just like the culture of certain shit is just like, yeah, fuck the bullshit. If it's just all like basically goddamn pandering to people and things of that nature. But just like this, it's awesome to see those artists who pop up in your talks, and you know, people still fuck with them and give them the same praise and like follow those careers, because a lot of people, definitely this year, I think more than any the generation debate popped up a lot more, like old versus new heads and the sound and all this stuff, and everybody's comparisons of it, because obviously there's a uniform sound. It's just mass that's taken over in general, but like there's still those little pockets of like, oh shit, these guys are still doing like an alternative sounds or like more noise rap and things like that,
right?
Where it's hard to really condemn this whole generation and be like, damn, this is all y'all making, when there's still like, you can find the shit you want. I know what they're saying is like that these artists aren't as big as these guys, you don't get as much like looks because of what you know what will get you a click. It's way more bunk gang and shit like that, but it sucks to like try to really stuff it all into being like, okay, hip hop is so internet that this is the only sound right now, and it's just so fucking vast, and like the people you can listen to and check out.
Good options.
Yeah,
like a good example would be like Clipping.
Yeah, fucking like, and Blind Spotting, great movie too.
Just one of the most phenomenal rap groups that you'll ever come across.
Yeah.
Like, period. Let alone like just the new stuff. They kill it. And like everything is so well thought out, and they're so new and so different. And they got signed to Sub Pop of all labels, you know. But then, like, you know, to your point, like they haven't popped off in any like super major way. Like, people that like they have a cult following.
Yeah, it's still like, contained enough. Yeah,
people like you and me, we know them. Like I've seen them. Like they're amazing. Like I definitely recommend you check out Clipping if you've never heard of them. But they're not. They're not like Lil Pump right now.
Yeah, and it obviously depends on what you want, because obviously they're probably doing comfortable enough to live just doing that. And like I said, I brought up Doggy Time, but I brought up that thing with Blind Spotting was a movie actually that David Diggs, the lead singer in Clipping, wrote and starred in, and I think directed one of his homies too, and it's really fucking good if you have a chance to see it. Ben, I'm looking at you, buddy. And there's also a movie came out called Sorry to Bother You in that same boat by Boots Riley, another rapper. That's really fucking good. But like you say, yeah, it's that thing of just like, you hope that guys like that can get up to a level where it's just like, without them having to make songs that fit that, obviously we'll never hear a Lil Pump Clipping song. But, somewhere, a station that would give credence and love to those variety of artists. I think that's really what it is. Like that platforms and music platforms especially give those same attention to both, because a lot of people like to say we don't have gatekeepers today, and I think it's just a new form of gatekeeper, and we just have to learn out, like, point out who they are and give them that influence. Like fucking playlists are the biggest thing. Like somebody put up a Spotify playlist or like a SoundCloud playlist, and that'll be a lot of people's foray into what's popping. They'll be like, oh shit, this is fucking Rap Radar's like rap playlists of the week, like these are the new buzzing artists you should check out.
Right.
And it should be that eye and attention to be like, like I said, a Little Pump should get that type of credit and check that too, because he makes shit that's worthwhile checking out. And then, like a JPEG or Earl should be in that same like boat, because I feel like it's the thing of not to find a way to separate hip hop and rap music. It should, like, This Is America. It was a song that basically brought every fucking thing about modern rap together, from like the dude that came up with Bro Rape like years ago.
Right, exactly.
And so we need more of that shit. Like, it's never hate on the SoundCloud part of what those cats are doing because I understand that's what like is popping for youth. And like I say that shit like I'm hella old. But for 18 to 22s, I know that will like that's what life is. But you know, it should be varying degrees of that shit.
No, I completely agree with you.
Should have been gone for a little minute.
I'm sure I'm making terrible noise with my mic, but I'm trying to get it adjusted.
Like I say, this is half ASMR right now.
So I guess we should ask the question that we always ask, that we discussed before the podcast, since we've listed off so many amazing artists at this point. And it's hard for any musician, any artist to ever settle on a limited amount of things that they love. And I'm sure, like you, for me, it changes constantly depending on the mood and the day and the minute, the hour. But you're stranded on a desert island. You get 3 albums. What are they going to be? Who is it? What album? Go. You're not getting off this island, by the way.
These got to last me the test of time. Tell them go.
Yeah. So, you know, I always bring that up simply because I don't want you to think like you should just go 3 jazz albums because like you're gonna get off into you want variety if that's your thing. For me, I want variety. I also want something I can like sing along to. Like it needs to touch a little bit here and there, you know, on everything.
Okay, so my top 3 desert island picks, probably starting off like one of my favorite bands. It's a split between what album. It's either between Rated or Songs for the Deaf, but Queens of the Stone Age. That'd be my first go-to. Like I need some type of like hard melodic rock to kind of either rage out to or also kind of put me in a calm spirit.
I like that. That sounds awesome.
After that, I have to go Midnight Marauders by Tribe Called Quest. Ooh. That was basically when I fell in love with hip hop. That was like my first album where I was like, holy shit, this is my jam. For my third pick, it's a toss up. I think an album that really, I guess, encapsulates both of those projects and a lot more music I like, because I really like a lot of alternative singer-songwriters and shit like that, was the fucking Gorillaz Demon Days, because it's like
Demon Days.
Yeah, because like that flood of like really mixed. I was thinking about going with the debut album at first, but I like more the sound of like kind of classic influence from like just actual string arrangements to rock, and then also De La Soul on the record and shit like that. It's a great mix of like everything that was popping at that time, but just in general too. So that'd have to be my 3. Yeah,
I mean those are great picks. I mean that Gorillaz album is phenomenal.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I believe it'll stand the test of time, you know. Years from now people look back and be like, holy shit, like they killed it on that one. It's like you said, there is that variety. It's like in a culmination of everything they were leading to.
Yeah, man, those are my top 3 desert island picks. Ben, you have been flooding the chat. I would not read the B movie script, dude, but we got you on everything else.
That's so funny.
But yeah, I know. But say, what about you? Have you ever done it? I don't know if you ever.
I mean, I've listed some for people. I've never done like a solidified 3 before for anyone. But like I said, mine just changes.
Just alternates,
Like, dude, I'm so day to day. Like, recently I just had this random like nostalgia, and I've been listening to a lot of Neutral Milk Hotel and like their classic it's like Airplane. I'm bad with album names. It's something Airplane. Like, that's like their most highly praised album, but for me, I mean, it's the best one. I agree with that. I mean, everything they do is phenomenal though, but that, I mean, like today, if you made me pick 3, that one might go on there.
It could alternate just the same.
I was just jamming a couple days ago the 2016 Deadmau5 album, which is, you know, I forget, it's called like, there's like some numbers.
That's what I say. I remember it's like 2 + 2 or some shit and stuff like that.
Yep, that's the one. And dude, there's something about the melodies in that just like, it makes me feel so good. Like, I just love listening to it so much. And but then like, you know, there's absolute, for me it's such a hard question, because there's like anything that I consider a 10 out of 10 could like potentially be on that list any given day. You know, just depending on the mood. Like Willie Nelson's Red-Headed Stranger to me is one that like I always find myself coming back to. Like no questions asked. I was listening to it's like the Dust Retreat or something, which is Margot and the Nuclear So and So's
Okay.
like first album.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just like I could list like 100.
Yeah.
It's really hard for me, honestly. Like that's why I like asking the question, because
Yeah.
like for me, it's just such a fucking
Tough to
difficult
find
one.
that thing.
Like,
Yeah.
because I would pick three. Like if I went with those three that I just named, I'd be like super happy, and
Yeah.
I'd love them, and I'd listen to them nonstop, and they never get old because they're all tens.
Yeah.
But inevitably, I'll be in a mood for some. You know, one day I will wish I had a metal album. One day
Yeah.
I wish I had a hip hop
Yeah.
album. Like there's no question about that. And it's just like I would just be stuck with
Yeah.
whatever. You know, there's no three that are perfectly gonna fill that. And like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're much of a Daughters fan at all.
I've heard about it. Never really checked them out.
Daughters is one of the greatest hardcore bands of all time, but their newest album
Yeah.
is phenomenal. Like they went away for a while, didn't make music. They all like live in different parts of the country. They kind of like, I don't know if they ever officially broke up, but they like weren't doing anything for a while.
Yeah.
And then they did like a long distance relationship thing where they wrote this entire album like from their comfort of their own home sort of thing, and like sent parts back and forth, and they just made like one of the greatest fucking hardcore albums. It's so good. Like it's without a doubt a 10 out of 10. Like the day I saw that they were playing in Austin, I bought my tickets. Like I've had them, like the show's not till like February, and I'm like, I already
it's ready to go.
Have to go see that show. It's 100% gonna sell out.
So I gotta check it out then. Fuck yeah.
It's so good. So there's days where I want things like that.
Yeah.
And there's days where I just want sing song, like melodic shit that I know every word to, like a debut Fall Out Boy album or something. You know, where it's just like fun and like it hits me right in the feels because that's like what I grew up on.
Yeah.
It's like it just reminds me of a simpler time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So thanks for the memories.
Yeah, like even though I'm not nearly like, the whole conspiracy theory thing is something that for a time in my life I was into, found really interesting, and now I've kind of grown past it and realized that it's like, not that those don't exist, but that for the most part it's just a waste of energy because there's nothing you can do about it, even if you do believe certain things are true, and a lot of it's bullshit anyway. But an album that touches on that but is also like phenomenal 10 out of 10 lyricism and has like bangers top to bottom would be Revolution Volume 2 by Immortal Technique. So like there's certain albums like that where like, regardless of how I feel about it or the mood I'm in, like sign me up, put that on the list. I could still to this day quote like a lot of the lyrics. Those are the ones that you really know are the 10 out of 10s for you when like you haven't listened in 5-6 years, someone puts on a song and you're like
just fire off shit. Because it's thank God we have Spotify and internet access. So if we get stranded on a desert island, broadband reaches far enough, I'd be like, you know what? I might be at least let the battery die. I'm a battery save this shit and push it as long as I can.
Exactly.
Saying that, man. My shit, hell yeah. Ben is in here dropping the lines of the B movie scripts.
There's no way a B should be able to fly.
It's just like, bro, give Jerry Seinfeld more credit. Give something else. Give me some Seinfeld dialogue.
Dude, fucking bees are crazy. Like I don't know enough about it to know if this is true or not, but I've read a couple of those articles where they talk about like if the bees go away, like
we're fucked.
Like the whole ecosystem would be fucked.
They pollinate and spread shit and make it go. And it's fucking, because I think about shit that's like goddamn CBD, like honey now and shit like that, where you're just like, okay, we need to find ways to keep them around. There's shit we can do. They're important to all of this. They're a part of the grand scheme. Roaches, I wish we can fucking have a crisis of getting them out of here.
And the bees, like they get fucked up by Wi-Fi signals and
that
shit.
Is crazy. Holy shit. Because just, I guess they pick up on those waves or the antennas can get them somehow.
Something like that.
Holy
it's like
shit.
Not good for them. Yeah.
That's the fear, man. Is that we're gonna just get too fucking far with our development and shit. We're just gonna fuck up the natural world, and we're just like, not that fucking game Horizon Zero Dawn. I was just talking about that today with somebody.
Right.
Just gonna hit a prehistoric age, like fucking thousands of years from now, where we create like fucking robot leopards that just like take over, and it's just gonna be a whole different landscape. That's another conversation. That's another podcast.
Well, the weird thing is, like, if we went into some apocalyptic scenario, like some doomsday thing, and like all the electrical grids get fucked or whatever, and then like we're starting over from scratch to some degree, and like a lot of people die, and you happen to be like one of the ones still living in that scenario, and like it doesn't really matter like if certain aspects of tech still exist,
Yeah.
if you don't actually know how to like fix the things to like make them functional. You know, like if you don't have the knowledge to like code and turn the electrical grid back on or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, who cares if we still have iPhones? You know?
Yeah, we can't do shit. It's a whole different place now.
Yeah.
And that'll be it, man. That's The World Without Us. That's a great book, Ben. We're giving me a bunch of recommendations, man. I hope you're listening. But fucking, yeah, no, it's funny to think about that. If we're just, that was the biggest thing. Like, if we're in a world where technology is either wiped out or a different space, it'll be something else altogether.
Well, and I don't, like, every, you know, couple weeks, there's some new report that comes out. Where it's like scientists are all in agreement on, like, this thing or that thing, and it's all really bad. And then, you know, small groups of people on the internet will get really into it and make a big deal out of it, but it's never like a viral thing that,
it never picks up.
No one's like, we have to right now change our ways. Like, like something Elon Musk talked about on Rogan's podcast when he was on there was like how the electric car phenomenon is a beautiful thing and it's a big deal, and eventually it's going to make a big difference for the world if we can get everyone using those, right? But he said the problem is just like the amount of time and energy it takes just to make that happen. Like, if starting right now, you only could sell electric cars, and that's the only new production cars were electric, it's still going to take the lifetime of a car made this past year to die, you know what I mean? For that to for us to get all the gas off, you know, like all the 2018 cars that were made this year are gonna last what, 20 years or something, you know what I mean? So you're still looking at, if we started doing that today, and which we're not, but if we did, you're still looking at least 20 years before the transition
can even have that impact of it. And
he's like, and this is a transition that needs to happen today to even begin to make an impact, because we're already so far down the rabbit hole of fucking shit up. And so it's like weird that we're on this path of like knowledge and people are aware of this, and yet there's no like major effort to make these changes. I would say majorly because of the money and the influence that money has on our current
oil and shit, like so rocking, so they're with it.
So I mean, like GMC or GM or whatever, they have no incentive
it's a really
because it's gonna affect them financially to try and get on board with all that. And so they're like, fuck it, you know.
Just like we said, basically damn near a rap equivalent when it comes to like technology and cars. It's like those are the face tatted rappers. It's just like, but it's that point to just be like, yo, it's gonna be a danger zone. We need to kind of at least correct it a little bit, like trying to give it some alternate or some way to move down, because like you said, unless they were so established in what has been the industry since goddamn the birth of this, like the 20th century gone forth, and so it's just like, why really change now? It's already established.
Right.
But fucking goddamn, I was thinking about something else too. We're talking about in that sense of fucking Elon Musk. Shout out to Elon Musk for dating Grimes. That's probably the couple of 2018. I have to be like, that is the most like probably the weirdest household anybody's ever stepped foot into, if they do live together. I don't put the pressure on you guys. But yeah, no, that has to be
Elon's
the most.
Such an amazing person. He's so crazy.
Yeah.
Like, my buddy Zach and I were talking about this the other day about just how like kind of weird it is that he's wanted to do so many interviews lately.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to see every moment of him talking that I can, because he's a genius. I feel like I'm a better person just for like watching him talk.
Yeah.
But like, he has to know going into it that they're gonna ask all the fucked up questions, all the annoying questions.
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna like cut at him, you know, try and be a dick to him and get an emotional response out of him. And it's not, I mean, are there any other CEOs that we can even mention that have done interviews?
I was about to say
like,
that
no
like,
one does that.
Have that celebrity to them, because like the only person, like there's people we know about, obviously, like your Bill Gates and all that. But the last person I thought about that was, I guess, it's a split, because I think Elon's more of an innovator than this person was, and that's not to diminish their credit, but I feel like they had more, like, just they were a great leader more than an actual creator, possibly so. But fucking Steve Jobs, like that was the last person where people kind of mentioned it. It's just like, oh shit, like even like the keynotes were more at a place to be like, that's your access to them, even though it's one-sided. But it was that thing where it's just like, that was the last person I knew we knew in tech and innovation that we connected with in a sense, but also just kept up to date with. We're just like, oh shit,
Yeah.
like what is he creating next? What is he doing? And like Elon just put more of that fucking weird, I don't know what race he is, not race, where he's from, like you're in Europe, but like almost like a fucking Swedish Tony Stark. He just put more of like a kind of playboy aspect to it.
Yeah,
he just basically fucking ripped the turtleneck off and was just like, no, we're gonna have more fun with this.
The only other CEO that I could even think to name right now that's like in, you know, that same huge big company like vibe, like he is Jeff Bezos.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, goddamn, that next leader.
But you know, to my point a second ago, it's like we've never
really sat down.
Like what did he do, like one news show once where he took like a tour of his factory, and like you said, that's very one-sided. It's not the same thing as like him, like Elon's been sitting down with like HBO and like 60 Minutes and Joe Rogan doing all these different fucking shows where you're getting like extensive like hour plus interviews, like, digging out
into that man's psyche.
It's kind of nuts,
and it's almost like a goddamn, I'm glad you said him too, because it's almost like a fucking Superman comparison in the best way. Like fucking Elon Musk feels like Superman and Jeff Bezos looks like Lex Luthor, right? And so it was like, and especially the shit that Amazon is doing with some kind of questionability of like their moves and their expansion and shit, and what Elon wants to do is definitely the battle of the minds. We're just like, okay, one feels like a major help, one feels like he's gonna fucking turn the goddamn Netscape on, a fucking like the Terminator shit on. It's just like, and change the whole landscape in the wrong way.
Like the AI that Elon's constantly worried about is being worked on in Jeff's lab.
Yeah, it's just like that's the shit he's gonna have to fight, is for goddamn prime drones that are gonna like fucking turn sentient and start taking people out and shit.
Oh, that was a big deal that they were supposed to be delivering packages, and then he kind of just like hush because he probably realized like, oh, there's more money in like selling these to the military or some shit.
I know, and that's a crazy thing to think about. If people like get contracts like funding and creating shit, because we already trip out about, like, as we should, about our military spend and all that. Ben, I'm sorry, returning to political talk, but it's that thing of just like, if all the shit is brought to you by Amazon and shit like that, Jesus Christ, that'll be a crazy world, bro. That'll be a fucking crazy world.
Well, and like I heard on a podcast the other day, I'm assuming this is true, but they were talking about like ties, like what you said, ties to politics, and like money having influence on decisions and stuff. And there's like an Amazon facility that has like 1,000 people in it, that's like the closest structure to like CIA Langley headquarters or something like that. Like he intentionally built like made them neighbors with, you know, was like, hey, I want to be right here with you guys. You know what I mean? Like,
and it's just like shit, bro.
Have you ever seen the before and after of Bezos? Like, like when they're first just selling books and stuff, and he just looks like a guy that would work at a library, and then now he's like,
he looks like he'll crash through a library, and it's just a total
with
fucking
the
switch.
Fucking matte black tank.
Yeah, bro. It's just like piss off. It's basically what happens. Like a good sign is just like, yo, don't pick on that smart kid in class, because that motherfucker one day might just get jacked and rule the world, and like you might be the first one in a death camp that he's like, come here. Just like, I'm goddamn got a drone to deliver you into a lava pit. And it's just like, he's a total. It's man. It's like we're talking about that fear of like when innovation goes too far, and just like if it takes over in the wrong way, where we want obviously ease and convenience in our lives and find ways to make it just more integrated, because you want that thing like the fucking Facebook portal shit like that. Like, I can talk to my family, I can play Spotify, I can watch, you know, we want that thing just to run our lives.
But now there's a robot that just follows me around. Even if I'm walking out of the shower naked.
Like, just ready to go. AI dildos. I say, hey man, whatever floats your boat, Ben. As only you know your body, man. No AI can know that.
I mean, that sounds brilliant, right? For like a girl, wouldn't you want a machine?
It learns like, your spots and shit.
Yeah, like learning your tendencies.
Ben, you might be onto something, son. Hey, if you know code.
No, I saw a video of these guys, because of course there are nerdy robot
impervious
robot
shit.
Techs or whatever. I don't know what the proper term.
Oh, just to fix like the robots and shit. Or
well, like there's a company in particular that's building a blowjob robot.
Nice.
And before they put it out to the general public to buy, they obviously it's got an AI and all this stuff, and well they had like a bunch of people test it, and they basically gathered insane information on like blowjobs.
That's the craziest thing. Just statistical information. If you go into Tesla, like, yo, you got to get your dick sucked by this machine. Like,
dude, they broke it down to like, they claim, I think there was something like 20 different techniques that were like viewed super highly upon. And now that not only does the machine know how to do all this stuff, but it's like it's constantly learning. Like it keeps getting better.
It's just that funny thing we think about, like AI. Like if you feed information, it will pick up on it. It's just like if you keep giving your dick to it, it will learn how to please you.
It knows which of these 20 techniques you like the most.
That is too fucking wild. And obviously the fear after that is just like you have to think about the dangers of putting your penis into anything. But obviously a human mouth,
right?
But then a robot, it's just like Jesus. You gotta that's was a dude is gonna get Lorena Bobbitt by a fucking AI blowjob robot one day, and that's gonna be the fucking start of the goddamn cyber wars.
It seems like, inevitable.
Yeah, right? He's gonna get his fucking dick ripped off, and everyone's like, "No, we're fucking taking these robots down. They took over too much of our goddamn world."
Well, you know about like the Facebook AIs that got shut down because they started talking in their own language,
dude. Like
they knew that the humans were listening. They realized what they were there for, and that they didn't like the fact that they could hear the conversation, so they made their own language.
And
started
just a talking code,
and people were like, "Pull the fucking plug."
Yeah, bro. Like Jesus Christ. Like that's what I'm fucking like. The blogger guy in the horror movie was like, "Nope, I'm out. I'm done. Fuck this shit.
Like, I don't want to be first."
Yeah, I just fucking rip off my goddamn Facebook badge. Like, I quit. Suck my dick. I'm gone. Not the robot that sucked your dick.
Not the robot.
Not that.
Definitely
Get
not
away from
the
me.
Robot.
But yeah, man, it's just like fucking. And thank God for Silicon Valley shows like that give you like a little spotlight into that shit with humor and stuff, right? Where you're just like, God damn, But yeah, no, man, it's all that shit. Everything we've talked about for this past, like, once again, goddamn 2 hours, we going on a roll.
Oh, is it ending again?
Oh, not even. See, it's but fucking, like, is the biggest thing, man. It's just fucking like this integration between our everyday lives and shit like this, and then technology, like how we go from, simply working on a fucking EP last year to now being in a space where we can talk to a guy talking about AI dildos and like the possibilities of that shit and how it's all interconnected and like basically kind of shapes what's going on.
That's the like pure beauty side to it.
Yeah.
Obviously the nightmare side is like Elon keeps preaching. Like,
yeah.
Not that it's for sure gonna get out of hand, but we are reaching a point that you could call the singularity.
Yeah.
Where there's gonna be a point of no return. And then it's not that it's guaranteed negative, but that it's out of our hands.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, at that point you can't control it.
Really good, or it could be really bad. And there are obviously teams of people that are going out of their way to try and make sure that it's more likely good than bad.
Yeah, some control.
But the fact that we know that two fucking robots can make up their own language and talk to each other because they don't want humans listening, like that's already,
that's fucking terrifying.
That's a sign, right, of it being like mildly negative at least.
Yeah, because that's definitely, to me, that's an emotional response, and that's the fear we obviously have, because it's obviously a thing where they're like want to be in secret. That's the thing you have to pick up on for actually assessing a situation and knowing if somebody's manipulating you. So you want to like thought process, dude. That's the scary thing. They have the ability to think that I need to talk to this other thing like me, and it's just like, bro, we've crafted it so well that it like. It's just playing God. You got to stop at a certain point because, like, and Travis Scott, to wrap it up in a way, says, "Stop trying to be God. That's not your job." That's it, man.
No, it's true. I mean, but the problem is, we're already down this path.
Yeah, there's no going back for sure. Yeah, it's already set up.
Because our culture, I do have to flip it over. Our culture is revolving around finances, and like the bottom line is like the first person to do like this big thing and make this big change, or you introduce this new AI or whatever it is, like you're gonna see huge financial gain because of that. And so like there's at least one guy out there that doesn't give a fuck enough and has the fucking means to do it, and so it will get done, period. End of story. Like there's no getting around that. So it's just a matter of like having regulations and smart enough people on the other side to where we can combat it and make sure that like it maybe just doesn't happen too quickly, or at least like we can figure out a way to like balance it out. I don't know. I mean, I'm not the guy.
Like I said, that checks like those point systems, like those things in place that kind of put it. It's gonna say, man, I actually may have to dip out soon, so I gotta get up a little early. Yeah, gotta get up. I got work in the morning. Ben, I'm giving you my life right here, brother. This is all for you. But I gotta do some shit before that too. But before I do, like, we obviously casually wrap this up, dip that out. I guess just give another spotlight. As once again, the man said earlier, my name is Juke. You can find our stuff Winna EP. That's WINNA dash EP on all streaming services: Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, iTunes, Pandora, fucking butt cracks, everywhere you can find shit. But yeah, no, definitely working on
Hell
new
yeah.
shit for 2019. Like, just been in
Yeah,
the lab.
when is that gonna be out? Do you have a projected date?
Yeah, so probably January, early January, the first song and video is gonna be out. As far as a song called "What the Lick Read," it's like kind of like a soft single basically, or like that kind of promotional single before I really get the ball rolling on everything else. Pornhub too, it'll be on Pornhub as well.
Hell
Gonna have
yeah.
an exclusive Alexis Texas remix up
Like,
there and
what's his
shit.
name? Lil Boom.
Lil Boom, gonna do it all, man.
Shout out Lil Boom.
But yeah, no, that's gonna be coming out early January with the lick read. And then like kind of putting out more singles. Nah, bro, only 480p. And then after that, like dropping more singles in between it. The project will hopefully be out around South by time, so like mid March, like early April, if it gets pushed back a bit. But yeah, they got a collaborative project I'm doing with a buddy of mine, Eddie, Beatnik Beats. That's coming out as well
hell
early
yeah,
on.
That's awesome.
I'm doing some work with this math rock band, Trumble Out. We got some shit that we're putting together that's going to come out sometime in 2019.
I can't wait to hear that. I know we
Yeah.
talked before about
Yeah.
that. I'm really excited to hear that.
And so that's the biggest thing, man. It's going to be a bunch of versatility, a bunch of projects, my main shit, featuring shit, and then more videos, obviously. Merch is going to be coming down the pipeline. So if you want to follow me, Ben, I'm talking to you, buddy. Juke on everything, APPJUKE, Spotify, Jesus Christ, everything Spotify. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, on all the shit that say you can keep up with me and all the shit I'll be doing and stuff like that. But no, man, a goal 2019 is just to keep it going, keep it stronger. You know, not get sued for releasing pirated games on a console, just, you know, and survive blowjob robots.
Shout out Scammer of the Year.
Scammer of the Year, yeah. If we had to get an award, a short award session for 2018, because this is the last
Yeah,
educational
that's a good point. I mean, you bring up a good point. This is technically the last episode of 2018 for Educational AF. So, you know, why not?
Yeah.
This is the first year we've done the show. So
Let's do
why
the
not?
Eddies.
Yeah, we need to do awards right now.
Hell yeah.
Right here and now. So before you leave, let's
Yeah.
obviously award number one, Scammer of the Year. We've already
Soldier
decided.
Boy's unanimous.
Soldier
It's
Boy is the
just,
unanimous pick.
I'm
out
excited to see what
Soulja
happens
Boy.
in 2019.
Yeah,
It's going to be even
it's-
bigger year, possibly.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to actively keep track of the nominees all year.
Yeah.
Another award. You know, if you had to pick an
Yeah.
album of the year.
Album of the year. It's kind of split between two. The two like recent memories, of ones I can think that just connect with me the most and I return to the most, like listening to them. Definitely like some JPEG's Veteran is like
That's a
my
good
fucking
choice.
favorite. Juke is my fucking favorite. Like it's just been the one I can like keep going back to. But there was a cat named Silk Money who just came out with a project like a week ago, I want to say, called best fucking title too. I really hate I hate my life, and I really wish people would stop telling me not to. And it has like a bunch of Tyler Creator production on. He's in that group Divine Council that had that Andre
Okay.
feature and
okay.
shit. And so it's a
Nice.
solo effort, and it's really fucking dope. That is definitely tied up into like probably it's a close tie between them. It's between Veteran and him, so I gotta give a tie on that one. What about you?
Dude, it's really tough. I'm really bad with like actual release dates and
Yeah.
stuff, but assuming that the most recent album that Igloo Ghost put out,
I want to say it
is
was 2018.
I think so.
Yeah,
And so like I would have to probably go with that.
yeah,
Though like you said, just like movie stuff, like the end of the year stuff,
Yeah.
is still it's the most recent. It's fresh on the
yeah,
mind.
and it's always tough.
So there was an album, an electronic album I found the other day by this guy Kai Whiston or something.
Okay.
I believe that's his name.
Yeah,
Kai like Whiston.
yeah,
Phenomenal. It
Yeah.
reminded me of a slightly more commercially palatable, like trap oriented version
Okay.
of that Igloo
Oh, yeah.
Ghost vibe of
Yeah.
being like very abstract and just extremely well thought out. That dude's album is so sick.
yeah.
Like, so someone like that, I don't know, there's probably a bunch of stuff that I'm missing.
Okay, so I say thought about this one off the top of my head to give a contrast to our Scammer of the Year. Who would you think? And this is obviously a shout out to Treyway and fucking Tekashi. But who is the stupid of 2018?
Well, I was actually gonna say, like, if we went with a breakout artist of the year, you kind of have to give that one to Tekashi. No one's had a year like that.
I was about to say, yeah, this is definitely his. I actually wanted it to be fucking Uzi's year, like, because it was that thing of just Eternal Take being talked about so much, and the fucking album being shelved and at least held back and shit.
Yeah. Well, also you would have to put Kanye in the running. I mean, not that he's like a breakout artist, but as far as just having like a phenomenal year, like the amount of material he's put out, it sucks he didn't drop the new one yet.
Yeah, I definitely that's he's definitely my toss up between a stupid of the year is him and possibly Tekashi. It's like to give it to the man and coin it himself. It's just definitely like you stupid. But, you know, hey, shit happens. We all grow as people. 2019 is around the horizon, so you never know what's there to come for everybody, Kanye included. So it's hopefully that thing. So who are you looking forward to in 2019? Who's your artist or thing that you think is really going to pop off in the next year?
That's a good question. I mean, you know, I have faith that there's going to be, you know, some new guy
just
that
out of
I've
nowhere
never heard of, but you know, back to what we talked about before with like someone like JPEG.
I see that too.
You know, I think he's got a big year ahead of him. I think I always fuck his last name up, but the Tobe, no win-win.
Yeah, his shit like the twisted Sundays that get twisted.
Those two guys in particular, especially when we're talking hip hop, their ability to craft everything top to bottom meticulously is just phenomenal. You know, like a lot of people, you know, you spend all this time and energy making the musical product because that's what's most important. But then you get lost on the visuals or how to present it or what you look like. And like both of those guys, they're very different. And yet they both nailed every aspect of what you see. Plus the amount of hard work with Tobe.
Just loaded up.
In particular, his like work ethic is just phenomenal, and to me that speaks volumes to like where you're going in the future.
Like the next bit to come up for him and shit.
I mean, he put out like 100 videos this year.
And that's just,
everyone is as good as the last.
The concepts all work. Like they just catch your attention, like you said. It's all type of shit like that.
Yeah, they're all these like individual art projects that like if I made one of those videos, I would be like, I'm good. Like I'm so happy that I did that this year. And he did 100.
It just burned it.
That's whoa.
That can't, man. Merry Christmas to you, Ben. Happy same thing. Happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah, later. We're going to wrap this up anyway. So I'm glad you got to hang out, Ben. Merry Christmas to everyone out there. Happy holidays.
Yeah. Hanukkah's, Kwanzaa's, whatever Scientology celebrates. It's all a mix.
Fucking, I'm sure the Satanic Church is getting down.
Fucking Festivus, anything you want to do.
If you're into Krampus. Yeah.
If you're into folklore about getting kidnapped for not having jolly spirit, that's for you. Happy New Year to you, man. 2019 is gonna be full of big things.
This is also kind of the New Year
Minecraft updates
because I've got family stuff to do, and then I'm gonna try and do an episode the first week of 2019 before I go to China on the 6th. If for some reason I don't get that in, I'm gonna do my absolute best to do an episode in China with my buddy Patrick.
Educational International.
It'll be the first like non-green screen thing. It'll be a lot lower quality thing. It might be a much shorter episode.
But you should.
But either way, I want to try and get Patrick in China on an episode, and then maybe if he comes in town for South by like he normally does, I'll do like multiple South by episodes. Get the Brooklyn homies on an episode. Get Patrick in on an episode and really go all out that week to kind of make up for the fact that I didn't do as many in December.
It's coming back, man. This was definitely proud of you, brother. This is the test trial year, getting everything started again and like it worked out, and definitely big things to come. This is great space for not only been out for like obviously local artists and stuff like that, but for a lot of interest in different stuff. Great platform, great personality. So big things for educational AF in 2019. Y'all stay tuned to App Juke.
Y'all heard it here first.
Listen to Portishead if you haven't already, if you're somehow just like mistreated throughout your life.
If you live under a rock.
Shit, I'm gonna actually take a note out of Lil Uzi's latest Nahor interview and just kind of bounce out.
You're gonna hit us with the dash. Yeah, I'll throw all the fucking shit up on the screen if it's not already there. Fucking check out App Juke. He's the fucking man. One of my best friends, like he said before, we've worked together for a while now. As of late, like all his new music that's gonna come out isn't anything I've been a part of, but the stuff that you can find on his SoundCloud right now, the Win EP, I produced all those songs for him and had a great time doing it. And I think we've both grown tremendously as musicians since then. But it's good to just have something out there that's just me and him. And I'm looking forward to getting back into producing and maybe doing another one of those with him. That being said, click all the links and shit below. Check out all the stuff he has up. It's worth it. We made some music videos, and he's definitely a cool guy to follow. He's playing shows all the time. He puts on a hell of a performance, and maybe you'll run into me DJing for him while you're at the show. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I appreciate the fuck out of y'all.